Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co-host Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Well, it's going fine. It's been a good evening. Saw you got to hang out with the lovely Robot Head and Polly earlier this evening. I was at a concert for my son, so that's always a good time.
It was a very fun stream. Yes, certainly covered some interesting topics in that one.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the rest of it. I caught a little bit there at the end, but yeah, I I played the bit back for Robot Ed was razzing me for being in the chat when he knew I was supposed to be at a function for one of my kids. I played that back for my wife, and she was thoroughly amused. She thought that was very
It was funny, yeah.
funny. Oh, you're right there.
I'm okay, yeah. You were talking and I swallowed my drink the wrong way, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, that happens.
now I'm recovering. Apparently, Robot had told me how expensive drinks are, and
Yeah, booze and cigarettes and stuff crazy expensive in Australia.
yeah, I mean
they
the
got-
thing is that like I don't smoke, but I'll tell you this: $70 for a pack of cigarettes.
I mean, it's insanity.
That's
mean-
insanity. That is the most insane thing I ever heard. It doesn't matter, like you know, it's a product that exists. It's really kind of there's something unfair about that to tell people that they have to pay $70 for that. It just doesn't feel right to me. I mean, it's up to them what they want to do, and if they want to do that, I don't think it should cost them $70.
No, I mean that's again as as I mentioned in the chat. It's called a sin tax. That's what they call it. Not syntax, the grammar thing, but sin tax. Or obviously they're taxing you for something you're not supposed to be doing. It's a nanny state thing. There's lots of people, even here in the U.S., that have proposed doing that kind of thing for years. And we do. There's a number of states, municipalities that put tons of taxes on the cost of liquor, on the cost of cigarettes, and and supposedly, well, it's all of this tax money. It's all going to go to it's all going to come in, and they're going to use it for for programs to help people quit smoking, and they're going to use it for programs to help people who are recovering from alcoholism or addiction or whatever. But of course, it always just goes into the coffers, and the politicians spend it on whatever the hell they feel like, right? Just like anything else.
Six says drinks are free at the bar if you're a woman.
Not
In
so much
Australia,
anymore. Not so much
not so
anymore,
much.
6.
I don't think in Australia that's gonna work.
Not in Australia.
Unless you're maybe like Sydney Sweeney going in there with one of her special outfits, I think most women are going to be sitting there and paying the bill by themselves.
Yeah. That was I've seen a number of stories recently talking about how women are getting very, very upset about clubbing and stuff like that because they're going out and the men are not paying for their covers, and men aren't buying them drinks because a lot of these younger guys, they've caught on to the grift. They've caught on to these ladies that are just going to the going to the bar and using men to get drinks, and then they're not actually even spending time with the men, not even sitting and giving them conversation. They sit there and they look at their phones and talk to their girlfriends and stuff the whole time. So yeah, it's not something that's happening as much as it used to.
Well, I'll tell you this. Even years ago, I had a friend, and she's very nice. I haven't talked to her in a very long time, but she was very nice. But she was always, talking, and this was before it became more fashionable like now, but she was one of those kind of pre-modern women that's always talking about all this feminism stuff and whatever. And she'd talk a lot about that until any type of bill arrived. Once a bill arrived, I never felt that she was intended to pay, and that it doesn't even matter if she's romantically involved with anybody. She's a woman and she's not paying for that bill. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I always found it funny because I thought to myself, well, if you're such a feminist, Wouldn't this bill be something that you would be involved in as well? But the reason I remember it is it just goes to show you that it's all nonsense. Uh, you can't have your cake and eat it too. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm. Yep.
And if like generations of women keep saying that they're like the girl bosses and they are this and they're that and the men is stupid and men can't do this and men can't do that and they're the boss, then at the end they shouldn't wonder why nobody wants to pay for their bill anymore. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, there why would you? Why would you? It's one thing when it's, if you're going to, you're going out, and you're hanging out, and there's a lovely lady, she's spending time with you, talking to you, it doesn't even necessarily have to go anywhere, but if they're just gonna take the free drinks and then just ignore you, I mean, screw them, right?
Yes. Did I ever tell you this stupid I must have told you this dumb story. Did I ever tell you the dumb story about a situation I had at the bar about with paying for drinks?
Not sure.
So basically what happened was I don't know if I ever told you, but I'll quickly tell you anyways. I was at I was at some bar and there was a lady that started talking to me and she didn't look bad. She was all right. And then like I don't know if she said, "Oh, like it was like I don't know if she said, "Oh, aren't you gonna buy me a drink?" or something like that, and I'm like, "Yeah, cool, no problem." But then, like, it was like a sting operation because the second I said that it was cool, yeah, I'll buy the drink, she told the bartender, uh, you know how there's like Johnny Walker, there's different kind of labels.
Sure, yeah.
She asked for one, not like black label, red label, whatever. She's like asking for labels, but like one of those fancy ass ones. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
wow.
And it's like, this is but then what happens is that, like, you're being put to the test because either you pay the blue, silver, whatever the fuck sorry, Sean, that was one of those other ones, like, and in a bar, they take money for drinks even if it was the cheaper ones, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
imagine you're taking the fancy ass one. So she asked for it and I didn't quite know what to do because it's a strange situation to be in and I felt like I was taken for a ride but at the same time you also don't want to look bad so I had a real dilemma what to do but thankfully I managed to get out of it really really in the best possible way so I never told you this.
No, no, I don't think so.
Okay, so basically she was there with a friend or something like that, and the friend talked to her for a second after she placed the order, and then I quickly called over the bartender, like quickly when she was talking to her friend, and I said, "Listen to me. You're not putting any kind of green, blue, silver, whatever the fuck label she asked for." I said, "What's the regular label?" I don't know if he said it was like black label. I said, "That's exactly the one that you're going to use." And then give me the bill. He said, "I got you. Don't worry about it." And I even told him do this and it's worth it for you. Do you get me,
Mhm.
professor?
Yeah.
Meaning I don't mind. I'll give him an extra few dollars a tip. Just don't give me that silver label or whatever. I'm not paying like hundreds of dollars for this dumb. Sorry, ladies, I'm sorry. I'm not paying hundreds of dollars for this dumb bitch now. You know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to be polite, but I'm not going to be taken for a ride. So the guy, he understood me. I when I did the tip, like I gave him like an extra. I was generous, but of course the drink now cost something reasonable. And then when she arrived, and I also told him, don't say anything. Don't say that you didn't give her the green, whatever the fuck label she wanted. She won't know the difference. She's just being a bitch. Sorry, Sean. But so everything worked out as planned. She came, she drank the thing. She thought that she was like the big winner, whatever. Of course, like I also, already understood that nothing good was going to come out of any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing was annoying. And at this point, I just wanted to, I was like one of those, Japanese people, like they like to save face. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I wanted to save face, and the bartender helped me save face. It looked really great on the surface. It looked and she was probably happy she took me for a ride. I'm a stupid sucker. You know what? Even the drink, even whatever, like the $15-$20 drink that she got, that was sucker enough out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like that already was sucker. But At least I minimize the damage and save face at the same time.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Blue Label is like $200 a bottle.
That's what I'm saying. And at a
Yeah.
bar, at a kind of nightlife type of bar situation, this would have been a really bad situation. Now, don't get me wrong. If it's like, if it's somebody that maybe you're in a relationship with and you're doing something special or whatever, that's a whole different situation. But this was just me kind of like, being a regular dude at a bar. This she was a bad faith actor, professor. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
And it
absolutely.
probably and it
That was
probably
that drink was not asked for in good faith. Exactly.
no, it
Yeah.
was not a good faith. She was not acting in good faith. She was trying to swindle me out of like Blue Label or whatever it was. Screw that. She wants Blue Label. She can go buy her own fucking Blue Label. Sorry, Sean. But you know what? I still the thing that me and my ego took away from this whole incident that I kind of was happy with is that my quick thinking, you know what I mean? Thinking on my feet, using the moment that she talked to her friend, explaining to the bartender, making it worth his while, having him in on the switcheroo. You know what I mean? This was all very resourceful. So
Yeah.
at least there was a crisis and I resolved it in the best possible. Okay, best
It was
possible way
resolved.
is that I'm not even buying the drink. But at this point, like I said, saving face because I already said I would. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh
initially,
yeah.
when you say, "Yeah, sure, order something," you don't think she's going to ask now for the most expensive thing that this ever existed in this bar.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
she's
mean?
gonna ask for a fuzzy navel or something,
Right?
right?
Exactly. Give me a cosmopolitan. Give
Give
me
me a
some fucking
cosmopolitan.
shit. Sorry, Sean. I'm just thinking about
Yes.
this and getting annoyed.
S
This happened probably like 10 years ago, and I still
yeah.
remember it like it happened yesterday.
So Citizen 42 has a great suggestion over on Rumble. It says you should have asked the bartender to give her the mat shot.
The what?
Mat shot. Have you never heard of that before?
What is it?
Okay, so a mat shot is a shot of all of the spilled liquor in the bar mat. They pour it out into a into a shot glass.
I didn't
It's
even know
it's
such a thing
okay,
existed.
it's normally it's something that somebody would consume on a dare. It's not.
No, 6, she started talking to me, and then she kind of said, "Oh, like, aren't you gonna buy me a drink?" Or something like that, kind of saying it in a nice way. And I just thought to myself, "Okay, well, I can't be," I was at this point still thinking maybe she's nice because she fooled me. I will add this comment, she was not a bad-looking woman. So not bad looking woman has a shot at maybe, swindling a drink out of you. But the thing is, even if it was like me getting swindled or whatever it is, yeah, fine, whatever. Like, I'm buying myself a drink, I'm buying another drink. It's not really a big deal. But then to turn this into a situation where like she's trying to squeeze out the most like fancy, Johnny Walker, that was an issue for me. So,
Yeah.
so I didn't offer. I didn't offer. It was not my initiative. But, yeah, yeah, I like I said, it was a difficult situation, professor, and I think that under the circumstances, I got out of it in the best possible way, with minimal damage. I don't know how we got to talking about this. What were we talking about before that?
Uh, what were we talking? I think it was just talking about Robot Head, talking about all the liquors and stuff,
Oh, the
and
liquor stuff,
how
yeah.
expensive it was over there. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Melvin went there and was like, "Oh, tell him the Jane Seymour thing." Melvin loves
Uh,
going to places and making me talk about, like, Jane Seymour and
yeah.
Leslie Headland. It's funny that, like, events that are like so totally insignificant in the grand scheme of things get talked about more than those ladies would ever think, I think.
Yep. Oh, so
Not bad looking women don't need to ask unless something weird is going on. I guess, it was said in kind of a playful way. So I kind of said, okay, like, I don't know. It wasn't me. I actually didn't offer. You know what I mean? I was kind of minding my own business. Yes, it was stupid of me. I fell for the trap. I admit it. But at the end of the day, like I said, got out of it in the best possible way. Speaking of getting out of things in the best possible way, Trump announced a warrior dividend. Did you hear about that, Professor?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, there was been a few things that have been announced over the last couple of days, but yeah, this is that was one thing that he was talking about, the war dividend, or not war, warrior dividend, taking some of the surpluses that have come in because of the tariffs. And then, yeah, going to be awarding each and every member of the armed services a check for $1,776, and part of that being, starting off our celebration of 250 years for the United States.
Yeah, yeah, that's it's a symbolic number.
Yeah.
You think it's good? You think they're happy that he's doing this? Has anybody
Oh, I'm
said
I'm
anything?
I'm certain that they are that military's happy about it. Is it uh particularly impressive amount of money, or is it the best possible way to be spending our surplus? I don't know, but I think a lot of people would maybe just say that it just needs to go back to paying money back into the economy. But at the same time, the military, they've had you know, they had to deal with the shutdown and everything earlier this year, and then of course, hey, they're a military. There are men and women in uniform, and they deserve our respect and our care. And
I don't
you know
have
what?
that
If
issue.
if somebody's going to give it to them, or if somebody's going to get it, might as well be the military.
I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Uh, Six says, Price, if we ever find ourselves at the same bar, I would love to buy you a Seagram's wine cooler. Do they still make those? But
I'm sure they
yeah,
do.
I feel like I haven't seen those in a lot of years. It seems like something that would be next to Bartles and James or something. I don't know if those things even exist anymore. But you know what used to exist that I really liked? There was something that existed. It no longer exists. It was called Aftershock. It was this kind of I want to say pink, red. No, it was red. It was like a red liquid, and you put it in the freezer. I don't know why you put it in the freezer, and you drink shots of it. And man, I love that shit. And I don't think they make it anymore. Do you guys? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Aftershock. Aftershock was the best. Let me see. Aftershock, liquor, liquor red. So there was red and there was blue.
Okay.
Oh wow! I guess it still exists. I
Looks like
guess
it.
I thought they stopped making it.
It was a cinnamon flavor?
It was hard. Yeah, I guess it was maybe kind of cinnamon y. I thought that they stopped making it, but now I see actually
It
places selling it.
I don't know, because it's what I saw says it was stopped being made in 2009.
Right.
But
That's
maybe
what.
somebody picked up the brand and started making it again.
But I wonder if it's the right one. Okay, let me see for a second. This is what it looked like. Aftershock red cinnamon liqueur. So I guess this is in euro. Maybe they're selling it
Oh,
in.
I can't see it. Presentation mode. Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
Presentation mode. Wait a second. This is what it looked like. This is it. I used to just sit around and drink this stuff. I don't know why, and I remember liking putting it in the freezer. I don't know why I put it in the freezer. I have no idea, but this was it. This was a big deal. Also, during that time, maybe some Jägermeister here and there. That was a possibility, but but this was good.
Looks like they had three kinds.
They have
There, there
a
was
blue one.
a blue one that was the flavor is cool something cool. I
Okay,
can't
let's
tell what.
see. But do they still sell them here? The Whiskey World one. It's so strange. I thought they stopped making it. Now that they do it, do you think it's the real one?
No, I have no idea.
Do they sell it here? Like now, I feel like drinking this. Probably shouldn't.
Just get some vodka and Red Hots. You'll be fine.
I've never even tried the blue one. I wonder what the blue one tastes like.
It says citrus on the bottle.
Well, you
And
know
then
what?
and then there's also a purple one.
I didn't even know they had a purple one,
The
Professor.
purple
This
the
is
purple one is supposed to be like berry flavored, looks like.
aftershock. Okay.
Oh, it's black. Black. Not
Yeah,
purple.
there's okay. They have black. Is there another one in addition to the black?
No, I think that's the one I thought was purple.
Okay, so they have the black liqueur,
Yeah, spiced berry. That's what I thought.
spiced berry. I now am very excited, and it doesn't even cost that much. $27. That's pretty good. I'll have to look into this. I thought that this company was done. Interesting, very interesting, Professor. See, here
No
on the
telling.
Night Owl, we learn about some very
Learn
and
all about it.
report about only the most important stories, like Aftershock being manufactured again. Anyhow, the funny thing is, we sound like we were a commercial for it, but nobody's paid me. I didn't even know the thing existed. That's actually, I really like to drink that.
There's always a chance these are just bottles that have still been sitting around for the last 15 years.
Yeah, nobody ever bought them. Hey, Matt, how's it going? By the way, Professor, I always wanted to ask you this. How long, if I am like a liquor that I've never opened and it's just sitting at my home, how many years could it stay closed and still good?
Oh wow, I have no idea.
I
Uh,
always wonder because then I'm
uh,
like, is it too late? Can I still drink this?
I mean, it's kind of. I mean, it's alcohol. It's not like it is gonna like go rotten on you or something. It's
Right.
not
You
gonna.
think that
It's
it'll
not gonna
still be good.
turn.
Especially if I never opened it, I think, it'd still be good.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think a few times I got one that had like chocolate liqueur in it and things, and then I'm like, oh, maybe it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, if it was some sort of combination of say, it might like separate out or something. Maybe there might something like that might happen. But yeah, I mean, I would imagine like pure spirits would just be fine unless the bottle wasn't properly sealed and it was potentially like evaporating out of there. Like I would imagine it's fine for if it's stored like in a decent place. It's not like somewhere hot.
The
Then I
the
would
dead
imagine it's probably good forever.
uh, I have Istofobo says I have a bottle of Bacardi bottled in Cuba. It's halfway empty, though never opened. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
That happens. Yeah, I've read about that. There
how
was
can it
some
be empty if it's never been opened?
because it's not like actually totally sealed,
Ah,
and so
maybe in Cuba they don't take that stuff so seriously. They're
and
just like
it's not totally sealed. There's little bit of it
in
that can get
Cuba they
out
put
around
it
the
in a bottle and
seals.
they hope for the best. That's what Istafobos is trying to say. The dead man is saying it lasts forever.
Yeah, I would think if
Interesting.
it's sealed properly, it would last for quite some time.
It evaporates. That's good to
I
know.
just I remember seeing this because I think there was like some vintage wine or something that some of it had been around forever or whatever, and then they found out that like the cork that they used for it like wasn't like quality cork or something, and like there was a whole bunch of these bottles that had evaporated.
I think that
I don't
happened to me
remember.
once.
I don't remember where I saw that, but yeah.
I once had a situation, I think it was either friends or a family gathering or something like that, and somebody's like, "Oh, this is like a bottle from this year and that year," and everybody was like so excited. And then they opened the bottle and there was something that wasn't good. That does happen sometimes. Yeah, Sal the hamster says low quality cork can have evaporation. All very true. And people are saying if it'll get. Caleb Levine said, "Will it get better with age?" I don't know. Can't really say. Uh,
Couldn't tell you. I am not a booze specialist. So I rarely drink as it is.
I understand.
Yep.
Well, what were we talking about? I don't know how we got here. Not that I know how we get anywhere,
We
but
I don't know. We're going back and forth on stuff. We were talking about the Warrior dividend. I'm not sure how that got to talking about liquor, but hey.
oh, wait a second. Let's see for a second. There's a super chat.
Yeah, I think we do have a super chat.
I want to say that the dead man is just awesome. Thank you so much, the dead man. Like I said, I don't ask anything from people, but if you do give, it's always greatly appreciated. And the Dead Man is just awesome in the way that he supports this channel. He's a friend of the channel. He also has his own channel where he does Star Trek stuff. You should check it out if you haven't already. Price, you should play the Christian Bale, "Oh, good for you" clip after this Price lore. Why? But how does it connect to it?
Oh, I don't.
I don't even know. Where do I find that clip?
Hold on a second.
Christian.
I think I. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, there
Good
it
for
is.
you.
Hold on.
Oh, good for you. And how
Did you just play it or did
Oh,
I play it?
could you hear it? Because yeah, I played it.
I was playing it, but I don't know if were you. Okay, hold on one second.
Oh, good for you. And how
That was you playing it, right?
That was me playing it. Yeah,
Yeah, I could hear it. It was
I
good.
threw it in my soundboard real quick.
Ah, I see.
I
have something.
found a YouTube video and I ripped the audio out of it and threw it on my soundboard.
I see.
I've been adding a whole bunch of fun stuff to my soundboard, Price.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I don't even think I have a soundboard. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't even think I have.
I need to bring the audio up on that one though. It's a little quiet.
I don't really have a soundboard. I don't know what I do. It's just a little sound thing. It's some kind of sound thing, but it's not fancy like yours. Oh well.
Yeah,
So
you know.
back to so we were saying that he gave the dividend. There was also something else. He announced some kind of Patriot games. Did you see that?
That
People
I
were.
heard something about, but I did not actually see it, the
I
announcement.
I thought
What
it was
was
AI at the beginning because they showed him talking about it. I'm like, is this a real thing or is this like AI or I don't know. Like, and people were saying it's like the Hunger Games, but I guess it's real. I don't even know what's real and what's not real anymore.
the
All
Hunger?
host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event featuring the greatest high school athletes, one young man and one young woman from each state and territory. But I promise there will. In the fall, we will host the first ever
Oh, I
Patriot
guess that's what it was. I don't know if there was more. Oh, this is the longer one. Okay.
America the most spectacular birthday. In my campaign for president, I pledged to give America the most spectacular birthday party the world has ever seen for America's 250th anniversary on July 4th next year. Already, we've had big celebrations to commemorate the 250th birthdays of the Army, the Navy, and the United States Marines, but there is much, much more to come. We're going to have a good time. As we ring in 2026, Americans across the nation will see the iconic Washington Monument illuminated with festive birthday lights to honor the start of this historic anniversary year. Then, from June 25th to July 10th of next year, we will host the Great American State Fair on the National Mall, featuring pavilions from all 50 states, highlighting breathtaking innovations and celebrating America's exceptional history and culture. Frankly, you'll never see anything like it, and you'll never see anything like it again. In the fall, we will host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event featuring the greatest high school athletes, one young man and one young woman
Oh,
from
I think it's looped.
and territory. But I promise there will be no
Oh
men
no, it hasn't.
playing in women's sports. You're
He's
not
just
going to see
repeating
that.
himself.
You'll see everything
Yeah,
but
he does
that.
that sometimes.
As I first announced in 2020, we will build the National Garden of American Heroes featuring statues of all time greatest Americans. And we will build a triumphal arc as we celebrate 250 years of American freedom. We are the only major city. We are the only major capital. We are the only major place without a triumphal arc, a beautiful triumphal arc, one like in Paris where they have the a beautiful arc in Paris. They call it the Arc de Triomphe. And we're going to have one in Washington, D.C. very soon. Construction will start in the very near future. And next spring, we will host a major prayer event on the National Mall to rededicate our country as one nation under God. We're not changing that. There are a lot of people who would like to see it. It'll never happen. And on Flag Day, we will have a one-of-a-kind UFC event here at the White House. It'll be the greatest champion fighters in the world, all fighting that
Greatest
same
event that
night.
ever happened.
The great Dana White is hosting, and it's going to be something special. But all of this is just a beginning. 2026 will be a celebration of America like no other, honoring our nation in all of its glory. To help carry out these exciting plans, we have created a new public private partnership. It's called Freedom 250. Working with states, companies, and organizations across the country, we will renew the patriotism, pride, and pioneering spirit of America and lay the groundwork for the next 250 years of independence and freedom. This will be a time like you've never had in your lives. America 250. Thank you. I love you all.
I feel like in this one he was more scripted than usual. Like he read from a teleprompter. Usually he's just like kind of
Yeah.
wings it.
Yeah, he does. He does tend to wing it a little bit. It's gonna be huge.
There's
Gonna
never
be-
been another event like this. You wouldn't
Yeah.
believe it. He did a
the-
little bit of it, but it was more
Little bit,
organized. You
little
could tell
bit,
that
yeah.
he wasn't freestyling. He was like reading off the teleprompter. It's just most presidents, that's what they do. With him, when he does it, it almost seems fishy because I'm just used to him saying, it's gonna be huge, blah blah blah. Like he didn't do his full thing, if you know what I mean.
Citizen 42's got another great idea for you, Price, over on Rumble.
What is it?
He says you need a shirt in your merch store that just says, "How did we get here?"
Yeah, that is true. That is a good idea. I should do that, and I should have Sorry Sean. I
Sorry,
actually
Sean.
there were Night Owl T-shirts, but there was an issue, and we should try to fix that at some point,
Ah,
if you recall.
yes.
But it's not urgent. But I just I want to. It'll be nice if we have shirts. In any case, thank
I
you
have a
for.
mug.
Yeah, there was a mug too. Oh, maybe you got it before they cracked down.
Yeah,
If you know what I mean. You got the
Yeah.
mug. You're like the only person that owns a Night Owl
I have
mug.
the only one.
The only one. Only you have it. And in any case, so that was that. Was there something else? I'm trying to think if there was any other weird thing. He also didn't he do like a press conference yesterday, and everybody thought he was going to say something big, and at the end he just kind of said nothing. If you remember.
Yeah, there were a few things. People thought he was going to announce war with Venezuela. Like I think it was Tucker Carlson came out and was like, "You mark my words, 100%. He's going to be announcing that we're going to be attacking Venezuela, whatever." And of course, I mean, it's Tucker Carlson. Come on, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've said it before, and this is my 2 cents about the guy. I think that as long as he was part of Fox News and part of that system, and he was getting paid and sort of involved in Fox News, uh, he had a certain agenda and a certain thing that he had to work within certain guidelines or whatever it is. Once he went on his own and he opened his own company, and there's people financing that company, and we don't fully know who's financing what. I tend to think that that's one of the reasons why these days he's reporting things very differently than he did in the past. It's not because he's sort of it's not quote unquote because he's awakened or based or anything like that. It's that I think that he has a different agenda now, and I do feel that it has something to do with his financial backing. I'm not going to just go
we
around.
usually refer to those as paymasters, Price.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has paymasters and people.
Yes.
I'm not going to use the nicknames that people use to call him. I know that there's a certain nickname that people use. I don't know who it is that's paying and exactly, and I don't want to make the assumption of exactly who's paying. But if it turned out that certain places that have oil in the Middle East,
Yeah, and start
uh,
with a Q.
I mean, again, some people when you
Yeah.
say that they get upset, but honestly, it not a lot of other scenarios make sense to me.
Nope.
I really think, and there were certain things that he's done that when I saw it, I said to myself, the only reason why he would do this is only if somebody like that is funding him. Things that just kind of sometimes even come out of left field. So And people are like, oh, like people seem to think that a lot of these people, not only Tucker Carlson, but a lot of others that like they listen to their podcasts or whatever it is. They seem to think that they're people full of ideals, or they're here to make a difference and blah blah blah. Most of these people, they're here to collect a paycheck. If Tucker Carlson was getting at Fox News, let's say they were paying him $20 million a year, and then he's not at Fox News anymore, you better believe that the guy is thinking to himself, how do I still get that kind of money every year? And how does he get it? He starts his own media company. There's some investors. Usually, when there's investors, they also want something for their investment. So, like you said,
Yeah,
paymasters.
yeah,
And
and Six has got it. It's Quebec. Yeah, totally.
Six has got,
Six in the chat. She said it
oh,
was.
Quebec.
I
Yeah,
said it started
yeah.
with a Q, and she said
That's them.
Quebec.
The
That's the
Quebec have
ones.
always been very naughty, Six.
Yeah.
It's absolutely them. So, yeah, I mean, and like, and of course, when people say that, he likes to play coy, and he's like, "Oh, me? I can." Yeah, I mean, dude, like that thing that he does, his like surprise face that he's like, "Oh, me? Oh, this, oh, that." I, to be quite honest, I never really bought into his shtick to begin with. I've never been like a huge fan of his, and I've always felt that he has this kind of feeling. I've said it to you before, that he always has this kind of almost condescending feeling that he's like 70 levels smarter than everybody else in the room.
Hmm.
But I think that if you put him next to actual smart people, he's not smarter than them. He knows how to manipulate maybe the average Joe, if you want to call it, okay? He's good at manipulating the average Joe in some way, shape, or form. He's not like that sophisticated that people that are really on that level of intelligence don't pick up on his, weird things. And as long as it was within the confines of like a major news network or whatever, then I think it was all right. But from the second that he became more independent, I really think that you know he's motivated by a lot of strange things. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. It takes some work to compete with the crazy of Candace Owens, but he's trying.
and
He's
and
trying real
also
hard.
with the fact, I mean, listen, if people, I don't want to start digging into this again, but I'll just say this: I didn't think that Erica Kirk needed to give her any time. I don't
Oh,
know.
good no, God
I
no.
really, thought to myself, man, this poor woman, her husband died, and she has to sit here and talk to this annoying lady. But that was my opinion on it. I really, I uh, you could say whatever you want. I don't even care about what your politics are, what you agree or what you like about her or not. All I know is this, and I've said this to you before. If you have a friend that died and died in a very bad way, left, a family grieving and all this stuff, and you keep claiming that you're his friend, but yet every day you're manipulating, people and trying to use this friendship uh, and trying to get views in kind of the most annoying and really disrespectful way. I don't care who you voted for or what your opinion is. This is for me like not the way you do things. You know, that doesn't look to me like anybody who's being a friend. That looks to me somebody that just wants attention and trying to get it at your expense, at this person's expense. And that's just my personal opinion, but what do I know?
Mhm.
Anyhow,
Let's see what else. What other stuff has happened? Oh yeah. If I can find a decent source for this. Did you hear about Trump today moving? Signing an executive order to
with children, no more.
reclassify marijuana.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You haven't heard about
What's
that?
going to happen with it now?
Yeah. So, and I can share an article real quick just so we can talk about it.
That's a lot more breezy than thinking of like,
Yeah.
Candace meeting with Erica,
Oh, you'll have to
which I
switch to
which I
mine.
prefer not to think of. The only reason why I
Yeah.
mentioned it is that I genuinely felt bad for her that she had to even meet with her. I just I don't even know why she needed to meet with her. I
I
actually
think I genuinely think she was hoping to maybe build some bridges or something. I don't know why she felt she needed to. I wouldn't give Candace Owens the time of day.
and I don't think it's gonna
I
help.
think she's a nut.
Yeah,
I really do.
I
Like
kind of agree.
at one point, I thought she was pretty smart. I thought you know,
Yeah, like
I
5
don't
years
know
ago,
if
like 5 years ago,
yeah,
she
like 5
seemed,
years
"Oh,
ago, like
okay, she's
she
interesting,"
seemed pretty
yeah.
sharp. Like she seemed interesting. She seemed like she had a voice. She was trying to communicate stuff. But then, like the more I learned about her and her background, her history, and then and then like yeah, she started going way off the reservation talking about like crazy pants stuff. And yeah, now it's just conspiracy theories left and right all the time. And oh, I've got sources. Oh, believe me, I've got a source that tells me that there was a military drone flying over where Charlie Kirk was killed and it was armed. And I've got a source that says that someone came up out of the drains in the sewer system and shot. I've got a source and it's like, what? Like,
She
come on. If you actually have a source of this, then
Every day she's like,
uh,
"Today I'm gonna drop, like, the biggest
yeah,
bombshell that
the
was
biggest
ever,
thing
like, a
ever.
bombshell," and then the bombshell is nothing, it's just another weird thing that it's, like, based on nothing. It's not even sometimes when I report on something, I try to look at different facts and say, "Well, based on all these facts and evidence, this is my opinion on what happened." But she doesn't even do that, it's just she's like, "I have a secret thing, somebody told me, this is now a secret, now it's top secret," and it's like, either you have something to say or don't say it at all. That's
Yeah.
just my opinion. But again, we don't have to dwell on it. Just my
No, no. But Six says, "Why would you want to build a bridge with a flat earther?" I mean, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't give her the time of day. I think she's
yeah.
a
Dave
complete
Chappelle
kook.
said this. That bitch is the most articulate idiot I've ever seen, or something like that. Yeah, like that is actually a really good, really
Yeah,
good
yeah,
interpretation. Give it to Robert Barnes. He called out Candace since day one. I too gave her a chance. Sad.
yeah.
Yeah.
You want to give people a chance, right? I mean, I think it's part of it's human nature. I think you want to believe the best in people, but then wow, yeah,
I don't know a
some
whole
people
lot
really
about
get
I've encountered him over the years, but I haven't seen him on shows or doing stuff in a really long time.
yeah,
But that
Barnes. Yeah,
Barnes Barnes at some point watched a video that I made. It's a very long story, but a long time ago, at least I don't know if he still watches. There was something on my channel that he watched, which is interesting.
yep. So yeah, oh, you'll need to swap the share on the screens or
Oh, hold on.
close your share. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there was an executive order signed, basically reclassifying marijuana. So right now, or previously it was a Schedule One. And so basically Schedule One. Here, let me look it. I don't want to say the wrong thing here. Look at Schedule One versus Schedule Three because I know that basically moving it to Schedule Three essentially means that it's recognized that there is a medical use for it. So Schedule One, any substance with high potential for abuse, no currently accepted medical use for treatment, and lack of accepted safety even under medical supervision. So like heroin, you should not be taking. You're right. Like you should not have this. It's going to be abused. Too easy for you to kill yourself with it. There's no safe use for it, even truly under medical supervision.
But what does it mean,
And
Schedule 3? Does that
so
mean what?
it's being moved to Schedule 3. So Schedule 3 are substances with moderate to low potential for dependence and have currently accepted medical uses. Is significantly lower abuse potential than those of
But what
Schedule
about
1 or 2.
recreational? Because there's this thing that a lot of states allow it, but
Yeah.
then the federal hasn't really approved it on a federal level.
Yes, and so they are not moving to actually make it a to actually, just completely legalize it as people, quote unquote legalize it. There are other things that are in Schedule 3 that you would recognize. Things like codeine, ketamine, anabolic steroids, stuff like that,
You
right?
know what I think? You know what I think though? I think that all of this is dumb. I think that many years ago they should have just said whatever and just let it be legal. I'll tell you why. Because probably for the past maybe 50 years, if not more, if anybody wanted it, probably within 10 minutes to 30 minutes, wherever they were in America, they probably could have had access to it. And when you have something like that, the smarter thing to do is to be able to tax it and to make money off of it, because otherwise you're just sort of encouraging crime and all this other stuff. So I never thought, and also, it's not really a big deal. Like, some people drink, some people do that. It's not
Yeah,
really a big deal. Now, the thing that people always said, oh, it's a gateway to other whatever, but I don't think that either. I think that's nonsense. I
I don't. Yeah, I'm not really convinced about the argument for it's a gateway thing. It is not as likely to be abused, but it is also, it can be, and it can be addictive, especially on a psychological level for some people. Maybe not on the same chemical level as other things, but it can be abused. A number of states that have legalized marijuana have found some pretty significant issues with having legalized it. Overall, just much higher rates of use among young adults, causing all sorts of problems with, really heavy use patterns of it, and everything else that comes with that. There's just like any other, intoxicant, you have issues with impaired memory and reaction time. You have increased in, accidents and things that happen because of it, not just vehicle accidents, but accidents on the job, stuff like that. And another thing that they've had a lot of problems with is uh, accidental ingestion, because a lot of people are, in places where it's legalized, they're they're having all sorts of different ways that they can take it, including having edibles, right? And a lot of edibles can be very strong. You have to regulate how much you're actually taking. And, you get kids that they find, oh, look, it's a jar full of gummies, and they eat the gummy bears. Well, the gummy bears were packed full of THC, right? And so there's been a number of issues that have happened there. There's also been a marked increase in people who are having overdoses with this. This isn't the weed that our parents or people in that age, the boomers, were smoking back in the '60s, right? This stuff is powerful.
That's
And
true.
you're getting a lot of people who are getting into patterns of using this, and they're having issues with psychosis and all sorts of stuff that was not this was not something that we saw really, or at least not as regularly as we're seeing it now, uh, where it's starting to happen fairly frequently. Talked to a psychiatrist, was telling me that yeah, this has started to become something that's commonplace in a lot of areas where this is, where this has been legalized. So there's a lot of issues with legalizing it. And the other thing is that legalizing it doesn't get rid of the illegal markets. In fact, in a lot of places, it encourages bringing in even more of it, because now they can bring it in, they can smuggle it in, and now they can sell it to people for lower prices and with no taxes on it. And so people can get the even cheaper weed, and they're not getting any sort of legal there's no regulation on it, obviously, and they're also not paying any of the taxes. There's no, licensing and stuff like that, like a lot of these places have. So
I
I mean, there's, I'm not arguing that necessarily that legalization is never the answer, just that there have been a lot of places that that have not really seen what they expected to happen from legalizing it, that it's actually has caused a number of issues. So,
um
I honestly, I do think that moving it to Schedule 3 federally is a good move. I do.
Well, first of all, Six was asking who's eating M&Ms, and I have to give you some props, Six. It was me. I was eating M&Ms.
Mm. Nom, nom, nom,
It's
nom.
funny that she knew exactly what I was eating, but it is
Oh,
true. That's 100% what I was eating. And
I had some red hots earlier, but those are
ah, so what I wanted to say is, yeah, I can see where you're coming from with this as well. I'm not. I wasn't thinking so much about kids or edibles or whatever. I'm just saying that in general,
yeah, sure.
I never saw the great benefit in how much resources they supposedly invented for a war on this thing, which at the end of the day, it's a war that failed pretty much. So uh, the things that you mentioned are concerns. I'm sure, maybe there's stuff that they need to take seriously, but just general, I wasn't thinking about all the edibles and the children or whatever, which
Yeah,
you make good points.
yeah,
Just the more regular adults thing, I
yeah,
just felt,
and yeah. I mean, the problem is that in a lot of these places they haven't thought through all the issues of how they would really need to regulate it. I mean, we do a relatively good job of regulating things like liquors, right? So that uh, they're not falling into kids' hands. It's not legal for them to have it. There's ways to do different stuff. But yeah, they didn't think through all of like the second and third degree issues crop up in opening it up. But then the good thing, so the good thing about moving this to a Schedule 3 is that that will open up a whole bunch of opportunities for research. So that would mean that a lot of groups that would have trouble getting a hold of getting a hold of the plants, getting a hold of THC or the CBD or whatever, because of all sorts of federal regulations about who can handle it, how they can get it, where they can get it from. Uh, this is going to make that a lot simpler. It's going to make that more standardized across the country, so that people who do want to actually research this to see, hey, can we use this? Can we medicalize the use of this in some way to actually uh, no, we're not gonna sell joints, but hey, maybe, there's a formulation of this or whatever, that we can use to help treat, this or whatever. Or they can look at the different plants and different compounds. They can isolate parts of those compounds more readily, right? It opens up a lot of opportunities uh, for people to actually research this more
I-
fully so
is
that they
this
can actually use it to help and to treat
is
people.
this a
Yeah.
quote from Walk Hard?
I don't know. I don't remember. It might be.
It sounds like something Tim Meadows said to him, like, "What's marijuana? You don't want any part of it, do you?" You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds exactly like that scene. Could be wrong, but in any case, Vidiot says Kamala was famous for putting people busted with weed in prisons. Yeah,
In fact, she was. Yep.
I think so much resources, including that, were invested in this thing. I'm not saying that there isn't anything you can do with it, but there were so many just regular people doing this, and I feel like all of this. I think that whatever's happening now probably should have happened decades ago. Now, I'm not taking lightly the other things that you said. I'm dealing more with adults just doing the more
Of course.
basic
Yeah.
stuff. Not all the more fancier stuff in the children, but just the adults and whatever it is that they can do. I really think that this should have been handled this way many years ago. At the end of the day, I think that there's people that could probably get more addicted to alcohol than they would from this. It's not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no question. I'm not saying that necessarily that weed is some way worse than alcohol. In fact, I'm not saying that. It sometimes amazes me that alcohol is as legal as it is, and as easy to get as it is in a lot of places. Not that I want a sin tax like in Australia. Not, I don't want your beer to cost you $14 a can or something.
If you
That's
buy,
not
like, a
what I'm
bottle of
saying.
Johnny Walker or something something that would cost maybe, like, $20 here in Australia, apparently it's, like, $70. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. I and the thing is, like, Aussies always struck me as the type of people that like to sit in some bar and have drinks, so for them to have to pay this amount of money is just unheard of. I'm
Yeah.
really sorry. You know what I'm sorry now? Like, 20 or something years ago, Some friends of mine went to Australia, and they're like, "You got to come with us to Australia," and I just couldn't. It didn't work out for me, and I feel like that was still a time that maybe I'd go to Australia, and it would still be kind of a cool place. Now I feel like anything I hear sounds not so cool. Uh,
Yeah, it's yeah, it has become a real nanny state in a lot of ways.
It's
Of
strange
course,
because I always considered them these kind of rugged and badass people that wouldn't take shit from nobody. But you know what? I also considered like people in England. I also thought there were enough like tough people in England that wouldn't let this bullshit happen. And they also, have kind of, I guess it's not what I
yeah,
thought.
yeah, yeah. Well, they want to be polite and they want to be kind and they want to,
Six says
whatever.
cigarettes should cost 500 a pack. Listen, in Australia, they cost $70 a pack. That is absolutely insane. And, I don't see why. Who cares? If people want to smoke, let them smoke. Let them do. You can make rules that they can only do it outside or whatever it is or in their own home. But otherwise, let them do whatever they do. I don't know. All this syntax,
Yeah,
it's hypocritical and it's shitty. If you think that this thing is bad, don't sell it at all. And if it's something that you sell, you can't like upcharge it 700% just because you're an asshole. You know what I mean?
indeed.
It's either or. Either this is a dangerous thing and you're not selling it, or you're selling it and you're not an asshole. And somehow they want it to be dangerous, pretend that they're like, protecting somebody and be jerks at the same time. I don't know. That just annoys me. I personally don't smoke, but I would be very annoyed if I was in a situation like this. It's absolutely a shitty thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, somebody says a prison. Karate Werewolf says a prison colony reverted back to a prison colony. Very strange, like how that happened. Kind of very odd that that's how it all ended up. But what can we do? Elizabeth Quinn says, listen to a podcast about dreaming. What is it?
De-arming.
Oh, de-arming.
De-arming
Australia
Australia.
really sad. Shut the fuck up. I don't know who she's talking to. Me?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sick of smelly people. That's why,
Uh,
because she doesn't want the cigarettes. I
yeah,
understand. This is
yeah.
my opinion.
I know what you mean. Oh my God. Yeah. Uh,
I understand what you mean, but you know what? I don't feel the same way.
yeah.
I live vicariously through these people that smoke. Okay, we have a Rumble rant for $10 from some late guy LI90. Now I never know if this is Long Island 90 or just LI90, but I'd really like it if this guy once said if he's from Long Island or not. But in any case, $10. Thank you so much for the Rumble rant. He says, "Hey fellows, just got here. How's everyone doing?" Well, we're doing great, especially now that you've joined us, Mister Some Late Guy
Hmm.
LI90. And if you, I'm from Long Island, yeah. I was
Nice.
once. I don't go to Long Island often. It's not so far from where I am, but I just don't really have a lot of reasons to go there. I was. I'm trying to think the last time I was there. It's been a very long time. I was at a few nightclubs in Long Island. Maybe bars, kind of. I don't know if to call them nightclub, but they were venues that people maybe performed at, or I don't know. It's all kind of fuzzy now. So yeah, those. I can't even remember. I was trying to think of the name of the place, but I can't even remember that. Oh well. But nice. Relatively speaking, some late guy, Long Island 90. We're not too far from each other. You're probably in closest proximity to me than most of the other people in this chat right now. So it's nice to meet a fellow tri-state area person. And thank you so much for the $10, by the way. Anyhow, what else was on our docket today? Unless there's some other. Oh, there was one thing I'll just quickly say because I want to dance around anything some
Yeah,
platforms.
I don't want to talk too much about that, but yeah, the HHS today making some new rules, restricting care
Transformers.
for minors.
Right, restricting
Uh,
Transformers. If you wanted minors to be Transformers, it's restricting that you can't have
certain
them
treatments,
Transformers.
yeah, treatments, saying, that we're not going, the federal government is not going to fund any of those things through. There will not be any Medicaid reimbursement. And of course, and Medicare also, basically any hospital that accepts Medicare would have to stop any of this type of care, which I don't really call care. I call abuse, but that's just me. They would have to stop doing that stuff, or they would have to risk losing all of their federal funding. So there are a lot of people who are very, very happy about this. This is something they've been asking for a long time, to stop this stuff. It is one thing for an adult who is of a consenting age, who is, who is going to make decisions like this about their own lives and how they want to do things. It is a completely different thing for someone who is underage to be making decisions like this that are irreversible. It is insane to be allowing people who are underage to be taking these drugs and hormones and getting surgeries, things that are absolutely irreversible, destroying their bodies before they're of an age when they can really understand what any of it actually means. It's maddening. So I think I'm very happy about this. Of course, there are many people who are not arguing that that this is marginalizing a certain group, and that it's they're attacking this particular minority of people, whatever. No, this is you know what, pay for it yourself. We're
I
yeah.
believe I was in Hicksville, Long Island. Hicksville, that's what the place was called. And I was at a nightclub, but I would be surprised if that nightclub is still open. I can't seem to remember the name of it. It would have to be something that's been around for many, many years. Anyhow, yeah, I was in Hicksville. I think there was also another place that I went to some event, some nightlife event. But again, this isn't something that happened recently. I'm sure I was in Long Island at some point in the daytime, or maybe I passed by there or drove from one place. I've been there. I've sometimes, if I'm driving, maybe I'll be there. But I properly to actually go to Long Island and be there for any kind of reason, that hasn't happened in a very long time. Anyhow, we have a few additional super chats from the dead man.
Yes.
One is Trump could announce the doomsday trailer and then the left would flip out. And yeah, that's probably true. And the other one, that's 100% true. By the way, a doomsday trailer. I actually went to see Avatar today, but I was running late and I came right when the movie started. So if there was a doomsday trailer, they showed that Chris Evans one. I don't even know because I wasn't there. So won't be able to give any information on that. But I will be able to talk about the movie. I will be able to talk about the movie, which I'll do shortly.
Yeah.
The dead man then said for another $4.99, and again, thank you very much, the dead man. I really, really appreciate it. I don't know if I'm good at expressing my appreciation, but I genuinely appreciate your super chats. I want to say something real. Real life friend of mine passed. The BS stuff, I don't care. Merry Christmas, Price and R2. I'm so sorry to hear that. I don't know what the circumstances are of your friend passing away, but yeah, that's always a bad thing. And I think that we've all probably at some point or another, I can only say about myself, I've encountered, such things in recent years on a few occasions, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's always extremely sad.
It is. Yeah, it's never easy to lose those that we care for. It's never easy to lose those that are that were a part of our life, especially those that were, a big part you're gonna miss those people. You're gonna find times when you think about them and you realize they're not around anymore. It's never easy, but that's a universal experience, and one that I think many of us have shared in. So, yeah, my condolences, buddy, and appreciate the super chat, appreciate all the support, and you know what, things will get better, and of course, as you said, Merry Christmas, dead man.
Yeah, I agree with everything the professor said, and I'm real sorry. I don't have more context, but it doesn't really matter. It sounds like you lost somebody close, and that's a terrible thing. But I do wish you a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas,
Yeah,
all that stuff. And other people here are doing that as well. So,
yeah.
uh, is Six saying that she used to smoke? I was laying in bed and I could smell it in my hair. I realized that even though I never smoked around my pets, they could still smell it, and I didn't want to do that to them. Cold turkey.
Mm.
Oh, and people are very impressed. I didn't know that you smoked. Yeah, but
I had a coworker many years ago who she also quit cold turkey. She had well, she was getting remarried, and her significant other, new significant other, had a child, and started having all sorts of breathing issues, asthma and whatever. And she realized that she couldn't do that to a child, and so uh, she went home that day and she took the cigarettes and she threw them in the trash, and she said that was it. So
yeah, that's not
yeah,
easy to do. That's
nope.
certainly not easy to do.
Because she said, I love you, I love you, I love your daughter. Uh, you know, you're more important than the cigarettes. So yeah,
That is
and not easy, not easy.
no, not easy at all. And yeah, so the dead man on the one hand, thank you for the super chats. On the other hand, my condolences. And yeah. Oh, where were we?
Where were we, Bryce? Yeah, I mean, we
Uh,
were just talking about very different Trump things and stuff. Maybe we want to move off of the
yeah,
politics.
Avatar 3. Avatar 3.
Avatar 3, the most Avatar since Avatar 2.
Let me see if I can find this one. I don't really know. What were the other ones? What kind
Three
of
times the Avatars.
let's see for a second. So on Rotten Tomatoes, I see that they've given it a 69%. Now,
Nice.
this is what I think. I think that I've never been the biggest fan of these movies to begin with. When the first one came out in 2009 or whatever it is, if nothing else, at least James Cameron did something that a lot of people weren't doing. He did the 3D. He did all these kind of mocap graphics or
Oh
whatever.
no. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, visually, the first film is extremely impressive.
Right.
There's the CGI, the 3D that they put in, like visually very, very impressive film. Like technologically, a lot of very incredible work went into that.
Right.
And there's some decent performances in it, but it just feels like a recycled story, like it's been done in a bunch of other movies before. Oh,
It wasn't
the
the
guy comes
story.
in and goes native, and then fights back against the oppressors or whatever, like the colonizers.
Karate Werewolf says 3-hour aquarium screensaver. And yeah, the thing is that the original
great.
one, first of all, at least there wasn't exactly like that before. The story was like rehashed for sure, but whatever happened there visually was kind of
Yeah.
nice to see. And
Yeah.
the story was just like basic and dumb enough. It just did whatever it did. It was
Yeah, it's
fine for.
popcorn. It was popcorn movie, right? And a one-off of that is fine.
One off
right?
is fine. It did not need if you wanna know the truth, I don't think it needed any kind of follow-up or sequel or anything. I think that that movie should have stayed wherever it was, and James Cameron, I would have preferred that he goes and invests his time and energy in other things and not that. Because he's not getting any younger, and in the past, I don't know, 15 years, all he does is play around with these stupid blue creatures. Maybe during that time, he could have made a movie that actually, mattered a bit more, but that's just my personal opinion. In any case, the second one I thought was unnecessary. I wasn't especially excited to see it. I will say that I saw it, and all things considered, I didn't hate it. I did walk out of the theater and think to myself, "I'm going to forget about this in 5 minutes." It wasn't that memorable. It wasn't that important. It was another kind of popcorn movie, but not even the best one. It looked nice, but again, the story didn't really do anything special for me. And there were already cracks and a lot of silly things in that second one. But I'm like, well, whatever. But the third one, the problem I have with it is that it doesn't. It feels like it's just rehashing again the ideas of the first and second one. I didn't feel like this third movie had anything more to say about anything. You know what I mean? Things in the second movie, you had a situation where you had the main bad guy from the first movie. Now he was alive, but he was an avatar. Now, how could he be dead and alive as an avatar? They downloaded his memories and uploaded it into a avatar. None of that makes any sense to me. A bunch of shit. Like, sorry, Sean.
Yeah,
It,
yeah, like the first thing, the original movies, like, you had to, like, be hooked up, had to have your whole brain and consciousness copied over into this other thing. It wasn't just like you had a USB thumb drive that had your brain on it, you could just copy that over into the body. That's
Yeah, complete nonsense, man. So I think that that this second movie, if you really thought about it, it was a lot of dumb shit. The fact that this guy had a son and Jake was raising the son of the guy that he killed, the bad guy, and then this bad guy was now like, his memory, even though he was dead, was uploaded into one of those creatures. All of that was really, really fucking stupid. I'm sorry, Sean. And I feel like in that movie, I after it was done, I said to myself, I hope they never revisit this stupid idea again. Whatever James Cameron does, I hope he does not revisit this stupid idea with a guy dying and upload into an avatar and this sun thing. I didn't like all of that. I thought it was dumb, and I just hope that like James Cameron would learn his lesson and we would never see any of those characters again. Do you know what happened in this movie?
uh, I'm guessing we saw a lot of those characters again that we didn't
All
care
the
about
time,
seeing
all the time.
in the second movie.
Right. So basically, this is almost like it really felt like a copy paste, especially of the second movie. Again, that general guy is a Navi whatever blue creature again. How was he killed and now he's again the creature? I think he was killed in the last one again. I think he's been killed twice, and they keep uploading him again into the creature. It's so annoying. I don't understand. And the other thing is, the main bad guy. They don't know what to do with him. On one hand, he wants to has some kind of responsibility that he feels towards his son. On the other hand, he wants to kill or whatever Jake Sully, and it's like those two things are very conflicting with each other. Now in the second movie we already went through this once, that he went through that process. I don't feel like you needed any more processes to sort of rewind the clock and do the same stupid thing over again in this movie. Completely unnecessary. And there were just moments like I said, all the things that I thought were like dumb and stupid from the second one all returned here. The little girl, there's a girl who I guess was Sigourney Weaver, but then she became a Navi, and then she keeps like going to the ocean and like touching rocks, and the rocks like talk to her or something. So stupid, man. So
What?
fucking stupid.
She's
And
talking to the rocks?
it's like rocks in the water. She touches them and then she's like at one with the rock. I can't even explain this dumb shit to you. Sorry, Sean. And in any case, so you have this and the kid that's like the human that's with them. So he has to always have a mask or else he can't breathe. So at least in this movie they address it. They're like, well, he can't continue to be here because we're struggling with the mask all the time and this and that. So at some point in the movie, his mask falls off and there's no more mask because they're like in danger. So the Sigourney Weaver girl, who's now like a creature too, she's also some weird shit. She Sorry, Sean. And then she takes a little octopus and shoves it into his mouth when he can't breathe, and then the octopus is magical and fixes his lungs that he can go around and breathe even though before he couldn't breathe.
So
This is a real thing that happens.
it's the Babel fish except for oxygen or whatever. Like
Something like that. Yeah, it's like
the magic Babel fish from. I'm sorry. No, this is so silly. Okay. Just a magic
Six says of
octopus that sticks. You stick it in your mouth, and you can breathe. Okay.
Six says, of course you think the girl is stupid. Listen, all those characters are stupid. They're all stupid. The human kid annoys me as well. I think he's super annoying. I think that they all act really dumb. There's another thing that I guess in the second movie, sorry, spoiler, one of their sons die, and then they're still kind of reeling from the thing, and I don't know, this other kid is trying to prove himself, and he has the sister and the whatever. It's just so much nonsense, and there's so many characters with so many stupid things going on. And I feel like he thought to himself, James Cameron, well, I'll make it 3 hours and 15 minutes so people will be able to really see the story of all these characters. But I don't feel like all those stories really helped me. It's too many characters. It's too much shit. Another thing, in the previous movie, there was something that there was like these guys that they wanted to capture these sort of space whales or whatever they are, and they wanted to take like their, the fluids from their adrenal gland or whatever the fuck it is. Sorry, and they have to take that chemical because it's valuable and it's expensive. So in the previous movie, they already wanted to capture those whales, but then it turned out
Yeah.
that there was like a battle and they lost and it didn't work out. So now
Yeah.
the same stupid idiots come back again with boats, and again they want the stupid space fish again. And it's like, we already saw this last time. Why do you already know that you can't beat these people? What, you're going to come in here again with these stupid space fish? And then again they come there. Not to mention that there's some other story that the fish is in the water, and there's one fish that's an outcast, but the son of Jake loves the fish, and now he's a rebel, and he has to talk to the fish all the time. Man, some stupid shit. Now, in addition to all of this, they introduce sort of like a secondary villain or a villain or whatever you want to call her, who's this kind of like just bitchy bitch. I don't know how else to describe her. And then the guy that's like the bad guy from there was a general, and now that he's an avatar,
Yeah.
he befriends her, and they end up like, I think it's implied that he's like banging her now. Now, this is another thing that's weird to me, because the fact that suddenly they're in a body that's some weird creature that somebody was planted their body, generally speaking, they were born human. So wouldn't they be attracted to humans, Professor?
You would think so,
Why would
but
they be attracted to some weird blue creature with a tail and strange ears? You know what I mean? Like, something in this whole
'cause
idea that now he's like this and he's like banging this other creature is all very weird to me. You know what I mean? There's something about it that doesn't 100% add up. Even Jake Sully himself, with like, Zoe Saldana, the who's a blue creature, even that doesn't fully make sense to me. But I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's all real weird shit. And so at first, he like threatens her, but then he likes her, and then they team up, and then like they want to kill. On one hand, they want to work with the military, but on the other hand, they want to kill Jake Sully. All of this is just so much contradictions and weird crap. There's Giovanni Ribisi, the scientist, and he wants to now capture the boy that had the fish in his lungs, because the boy with the fish in his lungs, if they can duplicate what's happening in his DNA, they can have humans imported into the planet. So now they can breathe on the planet too. So the guy with the fish in his lungs, he wants him. And all of this is happening. And then you have the lady from The Sopranos that's like a general, but she doesn't like the guy with the fish in the lungs. And then she doesn't like the other guy who was like the bad guy that became the Avatar. A lot of just bullshit. No matter what I tell you, I think there's probably another hour of me that I could talk bullshit about this movie, but all of it, when I repeat it now, when I think about it, it just sounds really idiotic. And man, 3 hours and 15 minutes is a very long movie.
that you get a movie that can easily overstay its welcome at 3 hours and 15 minutes. I think there's far too many movies out there running these 2.5 hour films. Like, there's so few movies that are actually earning that 2.5 hour runtime. Most of them could probably be closer to 90 minutes. 3 hours and 15. My God. Was there even like a break in the middle?
No break, no break, and I'll tell you
Oh,
this, I thought to myself, "I hope there's no," but I was curious to see if there's a end credit scene. So I actually sat there in addition to the 3 hours and something, I sat there through the credits to see if there was, like, anything, there wasn't an end credit scene. The second the movie ended, though, there were, some people in the theater that ran, and I knew why they were running to the bathroom.
yeah. they're,
Right, I mean,
they're going
like,
to explode.
I mean, think about it. There's like, thankfully, I didn't come for all the commercials, and rightfully so. I came especially. I know how long the commercials are, and I came for the beginning of the movie. Screw that Avengers Doomsday Trail. I don't even care about it. I just, so I was able to sit down and watch it. But let me tell you, even for me, like 3.5 hours or whatever it is sitting there, that is a long time to sit with this movie. And it's not The Godfather. It's not one of those type of movies that justifies that you have that kind of thing. It's not that kind of movie. You make a movie that's 3 hours and 15 minutes when you have like the biggest, most epic saga type of movie ever. This is not that. This is just a dumb popcorn movie. There's also one thing that in the middle of a battle, one of those creatures is giving birth, another idiotic thing. And then the movie is over, and like, they had Miley Cyrus sing a song. It sounded like a song that they wanted Lady Gaga to sing, but Lady Gaga probably told them that she was busy, so they gave it to Miley Cyrus, who sounds like not convincing on that song at all. Not that
Oh,
I care because it's a shitty song anyways, but you know what I mean.
yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, I gotta say, yeah, from the first Avatar, I again, visually impressive, but I was not impressed by the story. I really couldn't have cared less for it. When they said there was going to be a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5, they were like, "There's like, oh, we're gonna make 7 more movies or something." It's like, what?
I
How are
hope
you gonna make 7 more movies out of this? Like, I watched the second one streaming, eventually, uh, and I don't even remember it. I don't remember anything about it. I remember there were whales that they were trying to get the brains, because it was gonna make them immortal or something, like, if they got something out of their brains. There
yeah,
was the
something.
fight between, "Oh, well, you don't know the ways of our people," whatever, and yeah, there was, like, they brought back the other, yeah, they brought back the general guy who died at the end of the first movie. They bring him back again in the third one. What? Oh, just awful. Just awful. I don't get it. And yeah, again, as some people have mentioned, it's been said before, like the fact that the fact that Cameron, who is, to his credit, a visionary filmmaker, he's made some very impressive films over his career, has just wasted the last decade of his life, more than a decade of his life, on making just these movies that are just, what's the point? As it's been talked about before, like, there's nothing culturally really significant about these films. They haven't changed the world. They haven't created massive fandoms like a Star Wars or, any number of other projects out there. Like, I mean, hell, probably there's probably more fans of, oh gosh, I don't know.
Wait, we have some breaking news.
Oh, we do?
I'll choose. Let's choose words carefully where we need to, but there is some breaking news apparently. Uh, Hold on. Like breaking this very minute. Oh, maybe 50
Oh.
minutes ago. Sorry. I thought it was something more recent. But let me see
Oh,
how
what?
how
Oh.
let's see.
Six said, "So why did you go see it, Professor? Why did I go see the first Avatar? or the second one. I actually didn't go see the first Avatar in the theater. I wanted to, and I actually had tickets at one point, but I had to reschedule and did not actually. Oh, I knew about this. I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about it or not.
Well,
Yeah,
just a quick thing. We'll dance around
yeah,
things we need to, but basically, they kept saying that they think that the same shooter from the university was the one that was also involved in the MIT professor that they also found, and
yes.
now I guess the same suspect is linked to both of them. The question is, did the professor one happen after the Brown one?
Uh, uh, I don't know.
If that's the case, then Brown are like, super. I mean, between you and me, it's they handled this so poorly. Um,
Yeah, well, and that they had, supposedly they had several hundred cameras all over the
and
campus,
they couldn't find
but they
anything on those
couldn't.
cameras.
Yeah,
Impossible. It's just none of this makes any sense.
so a
Let's see.
prominent MIT plasma physics and nuclear science professor from Portugal found a shot Monday night in his home.
And when did the
Uh,
thing in
invest
Brown happen?
Investigators believe the same suspect was responsible for this and the mass shooting at Brown University that left 2 people dead and 9 wounded. Yeah. So, yeah, this would have happened after everything happened at Brown. Yeah. So they're saying currently that the suspect has been identified. 48-year-old Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, a former Brown graduate student from Portugal. So Portugal had that would be a connection with the MIT professor who was killed. And then he was found in a storage unit, a storage facility in New Hampshire, where he had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Yeah. So right now, they still don't really have a lot of answers as to what his motivations were for either of these things. They're still investigating. I'm sure Candace Owens will have plenty of theories as
Yeah,
to.
she'll have a lot of ideas. She's like, every day she's going to come up with another interesting theory. Uh, well, I don't know enough. This is all new. I wonder, I guess we'll learn more, but I understand that he came on
Yeah,
some student visa and then just stayed here. So that's why it's now saying that Trump doesn't want these student visas. He wants to cancel some of these visas, or I don't know. He's trying to now pull the plug on some stuff.
yeah. A lot of people have been very concerned about some of these student visas. For various reasons. One, the universities are very concerned because they don't want to lose a lot of potential students, especially graduate students that they like, that they typically get. A lot of them coming from overseas. A lot of people bringing up, genuine concerns that perhaps these are not good because a lot of these student visas do get overstayed. People they're here, they can't find a job, and they just overstay their visa here, and yeah, it's a real it is a real problem. Uh, but he was supposedly a lawful permanent resident in the United States, with his last known residence. This Claudio Valente, his last known residence was in Miami.
I
Yeah,
see.
very, very strange. Very strange.
Apparently, they said that this guy that was that did the shooting, he was fired from something. He was there working there. He was fired in 2000. But even if he's fired in the year 2000, it's like 2025.
Yeah.
It's all very weird. Now I'm like, sound like a conspiracy theory. It's just strange though. I don't. I feel like I'm missing some information here.
So investigators have linked Valente to the fatal shooting of MIT professor Nuno Loureiro 2 days after the other shooting, noting that both men shared Portuguese origins and overlapping physics studies at the same university in Lisbon. So it sounds like they were known to each other, right?
Well, maybe at
So
the time, if something bad that he was fired or something, and they were maybe colleagues, maybe it's possible that like the guy that killed the other guy felt that the other guy was responsible for something bad that happened. I just don't know. But so now the killer is in a storage unit. I don't know. This whole thing is weird.
yeah, he was. It sounds like he was hiding out in a storage unit. They had tracked him to that place, and he ended up
Deleted himself. Yes,
taking yeah,
his own
self-inflicted,
deleting. Yes,
self-inflicted, yeah.
self-inflicted delete button. So yeah, don't really know what to say. It also doesn't explain why they were deleting from their servers some other guy, if you remember.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they said, well, it's to prevent somebody from doxing him or whatever. And it's like, but
Right, but that was a different
doesn't
guy
make
that
any
they were
sense. It was
deleting
a
from their
different guy.
servers.
It
It's
was a
so
different guy.
strange.
Yeah.
I don't know. This whole thing stinks, and the way they handled it stinks. They have 800 cameras. They couldn't even get one angle. Only this
Yeah.
guy that's like walking in the distance in some bush that you can't see his face. It's just embarrassing. This thing, I'm just. This is just my personal opinion, but my impression of this university has not improved since this attack. If you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
Considering that this is like a high profile school and all that stuff, and they had all these cameras that they couldn't film anything and they don't have any evidence and they couldn't find anything, really, I don't know. It doesn't generate like trust, or I don't know what to say. Oh well.
Yeah.
Poor
But
kids.
so Marcus 47 is saying that yeah, I've actually heard this. I've heard somebody say this before. I don't know exactly what the provenance is of this, but Brown has made some claims that some of the cameras that they would normally have on for security were turned off because they didn't want to empower anyone to dox protesters. You know who the protesters were,
Of
right?
course,
So
the
they were,
watermelon
yeah.
people.
So they didn't want anyone to dox them. They didn't want any evidence of them being protesters or them taking any violent action or anything like that on camera. They wanted to make sure they didn't catch any of that on camera, right? So I'll tell you this though, if they this happened in a storage unit, they're gonna have some video of this dude because storage places, these these storage places. I worked at one of those. We had a huge camera setup. And it wasn't a very big place. But we had cameras covering every inch of that place because you would have people who would try to break into storage units and stuff all the time. And so yeah, we had cameras everywhere in that storage facility. So yeah, we'll see what kind of video they got of this guy at the storage facility.
Now it says that there's a second person of interest.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. The second person of interest in the Brown University shooting turned out to be a homeless 2010 Brown graduate living on campus. That is weird. What's going on with this university?
They are. Brown is a very well-known leftist stronghold. It does not surprise me that they would have homeless encampments on the Brown campus. That's sounds just about right, actually. So couldn't tell you other than
This is
Yeah,
just bonkers, this whole
that's
situation.
just sounds like standard operating procedure for a place like Brown to be allowing homeless people to live on campus.
Alan's Snack Bar? What is that? I don't understand.
Oh,
Oh,
they're saying what
yeah, yeah,
was
no, no, no. I understand. I
what
understand. Alan's.
yeah, what
Yes,
might he have been yelling? Because he was
Alan's
supposedly
Snack
yelling
Bar.
something, but nobody seems to have heard what he yelled. Yes, so he was
Alan's
talking about
Snack Bar.
Alan's
Yes.
snack bar. Yeah.
We get creative, don't we? I I don't know why Alan's Snack Bar is funny. In any case,
Well, but hey, you can get 6 months of access, unlimited access to USA Today for $1. Might want to. That sounds like a great offer. You might want to take.
yeah, not really my thing, Professor. I
Ugh.
never, I never, I never pay. Anytime they're like, there's a paywall here and there, I'll never pay. Like, as a
Yeah, I'm
matter
not
of
interested.
principle, I don't want to pay these people.
Not interested.
Anyhow, so yeah, so Avatar 3 at the end of the day was just like I said, it's in the diminishing return of a diminishing return. The second one felt like a stretch to begin with, but like at the time as a popcorn movie, I kind of let it slide. This one, I felt like there was nothing really drawing me into the movie. Here and there, I'll tell you what, there was this one thing that the kid, because he swallowed the fish that helps with his lung, and other people, it may help humans like immigrate to this, like emigrate to this island with the fish or whatever it is, because if they can copy his DNA, basically the kid being alive became a threat to the entire planet. And like, this Jake guy was considering killing him because if he did that, he could save the planet. And, he had a dilemma. And I thought that that idea was interesting, meaning I would have dumped probably like 75% of the crap in this movie. And the idea that, there's somebody that could possibly, that you care about, but could possibly destroy inadvertently the whole planet, and the kind of, a sort of a father figure, the kind of dilemma you go through of like, what's more important? Do I save the planet, or do I save this kid that I raised, and at what price? I thought that there was an interesting idea there, but it appears amongst so much nonsense and stupid crap that when it comes along, it almost doesn't have any weight. You know what I mean? Even the lady that had like a baby and there was a battle and she had to give birth, I'm sure there would have been a way to give that a bit more weight, but at the end it just comes off as some random crap as well. It just almost just like somebody just decided to shove that in there, but it doesn't have the weight that you think that it would need. I don't know how to explain it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just giving the
Not.
final idea here with Avatar. I'm not going to talk about it for 70
Yeah.
hours. I'm just saying,
Not.
like,
Not
it's
something I'm interested in seeing. I just. Yeah.
yeah. And at 3 hours and 15 minutes, I don't think James Cameron is going to make the same kind of money on this one as the previous ones. He's still going to make some money. It's a known brand, but I don't know how many times he can roll out the same thing over and over again. I really do feel like, you know, if it turns out that he's not making any more after this one, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I really am interested to see how well this performs at the box office, because I don't think it's going to do that well. It is. It's not going to be a huge bomb, but it's easily going to perform the worst of all of the films so far. And yeah, it may not make its budget. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know how to gauge the excitement for this, because I don't know anyone who's excited for it. At
I
least
think I'm the only person that
not in my
bothered
little circle.
watching
I
it.
think maybe six is excited for it.
Okay.
Yeah, not something
we ha-
I'm running out to see.
we have some super chats. One super
Yeah.
chat. So let me pull that up. Nobody's impressed that I was in Hicksville. If I had to live somewhere, I wouldn't be so excited to live in a place called Hicksville. It sounds like a strange place to live. Karate Werewolf says it's the equivalent of running 3D Mark on your PC. I'm
Yeah.
trying to.
Uh,
What is he referring to? Avatar?
Watching Avatar.
Yeah, I guess so. I
There's
understand what you're
a whole
saying.
bunch of 3D rendered stuff all happening.
You
Fancy
know,
screens, like a
you know
fancy
what?
screensaver, basically.
You know what it seems like. What Avatar seems like to me. Like you're going to this gourmet restaurant, like so fancy. You sit there and everything that looks the best and whatever. And then like when they bring out your dish, they just bring you like a cheeseburger from McDonald's. Do you get what I mean? Like you're expecting
Yeah.
them to bring like a filet mignon, and they just bring out like some $2 cheeseburger, and the cheeseburger is like the story. You know what I mean? Like it may be decorated, like wrapped in like the best and fancy and all that stuff, but at the end, it's just like the story isn't there. It's messy. This screenplay was the weakest out of the 3, and the previous ones were an issue as well. This one is by far the weakest out of the 3 screenplays. Uh, he's like, "Oh, I still have a plan to make like 20 more movies." Don't do it. There's no reason. You don't have any more story to tell. There's nothing that happened in this movie that justified its existence. This was not something that I felt that he needed to tell more story. I felt that the story had been told and you're just rehashing it for the third time. And honestly, I really like James Cameron. Terminator 1, one of my favorite movies probably of all time. Not probably, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Even though I really like Terminator 2, Terminator 1 didn't really need a sequel. It's a really good movie. It doesn't need anything more. But you know what? He made the sequel and he did something that at least he brought something interesting to the table. But after that, it really didn't need any more. And I think with Avatar, he could get away with one of those sequels, the one that we had, the last one. That's probably the max of what he could get away with. To do a third one with no real idea of how to develop it any further, but just to sort of rehash it, I don't see the point of it. I don't know why a guy that has such a resume and knows how to do so many things has dedicated like the last 15 to 20 years fiddling around with this crap. It seems stupid to me.
Yeah. It seems like a real waste of time and talent, to be honest.
Yeah,
It really does.
like one of the best directors just dealing with a bunch of crap like for 15, 20 years. It's probably until even 2009 when he had to start it like 20 years ago. These were the 20 years where maybe he could come up with a few cool projects, to wrap up his career or whatever you want to call it. Instead, he just like decided to take 20 years and to play around with this crap. The truth is, though, if we're being honest, I think that James Cameron, from the second that he made Titanic, that was basically him like, a turn in his career that wasn't for the better. Some people like that movie, and yeah, maybe it's nice how he made the ship or, fall apart and whatever. Some of the scenes there are okay. But you know what? It's a movie for women. Sorry, ladies, if you watch like Titanic, if like you like Titanic, or if you're watching this stream and you find me offensive, it's perfectly fine if you like Titanic. That movie is a movie that first and foremost caters to women who like the love story. At the time, seeing a young Leonardo DiCaprio romance a young Kate Winslet, that's what all the ladies liked. Guys, went with women. It was a good date movie or whatever it is, or supported their women enough to watch it. It was very much a woman's movie, and I feel like at that moment he lost his edge. James Cameron, to think that that guy made like Terminator 1 and then he like did that silly like again visually spectacular, but the whole thing there just is annoying. The movie annoys me, Titanic.
Well, it's just a flashy, updated, version with more of a romance story in it. Just a flashy, updated version of A Night to Remember. He even ripped off whole shots and scenes from A Night to Remember, which is a fantastic film, much older than Titanic, but one that actually, I think more. There's what I mean. There's not like this little romance story that tells the story more directly of what happened with Titanic. Really, really solid
Lasher
film.
5520 says, "Hey, straight mail here, but I love Titanic. Rose is a bitch, though." That's the thing. The part where the Titanic breaks in half and goes in the water. There's certain things that he did in that movie that I can appreciate from on a technical level. That at that
Sure.
moment in time, super impressive, like James Cameron knows how to do. Super impressive in how he sold it. But you know what? That whole thing with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, that was the part that I didn't love about it. You're right, Rose is a bitch. And at the end of the day, her going to that ship and throwing that diamond into the ocean is also really dumb and stupid and annoying. And yeah, I don't know. The whole I can understand why some people would like that movie. It wasn't really my cup of tea, even though I can recognize the technical achievement. I think that since Titanic, though, James Cameron's career has never recovered from that. Never recovered from Titanic. He kept learning the wrong lessons and kind of distancing himself from the things that made him a legendary director and writer, whatever it is that he did in the movies. He distanced himself from that. The guy that came up with the Terminator One is now making a bunch of movies about like blue fish people in the water eating, like swallowing octopuses and shit, and talking to fish. That's what we got out of him now. Sorry, Sean.
Nope. That's it.
But it's perfectly fine
Yep. You know
if you
what? Yeah. Yeah. If you like it, great.
Cameron is like Diddley Scott. I've never heard him being called Diddley Scott, and it kind of amuses me. Both used to be good, but have had to revert to trying to revitalize old work and stay on top. Yeah, I think that they're both, not that great. I agree with you. Tony Grigo says Cameron lost his balls after True Lies. That was probably the last movie that he made that I really thought was like good, at least for me. You know what I mean? What happened afterwards? What happened in Titanic is that he was looking for that bigger blockbuster, probably thinking, how do I make something even more for the masses? I'll make Titanic. I'll bring this Leonardo DiCaprio. I'll do this love story. I'll do this. I'll do that. But it lacks the edge of those previous movies that he had.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
It's safe.
it's safe. It's certainly a very well put together production. It is a very, very, for that moment in time, I don't know another director that could have done such a competent job doing Titanic. And at the same time, it's not the movie that I would have preferred to see from him. And I think that's my issue. Yes, it's safe, it's mainstream. But as far as he's concerned, he's like, fuck it, I did it. Sorry, Sean. He said, like, I wanted to have the movie that makes the most amount of money ever, and it did. So I did it. It's like, yeah, you did it, I guess. But what, with this Titanic thing? I mean, yeah, people spend money on it. I don't know why they spend money on it, but you know what I mean.
Mm.
Uh, you're hilarious. James Cameron is a legend and a billionaire. He could have 20 gazillion dollars. His best movie, in my opinion, is probably Terminator 1, where they gave him $5 and said, nope, you're not getting any money. This is what you have. Now make this fucking movie. And then he went and he's like, how do I put this thing together? And he put together the coolest movie. I will watch Terminator 1 unironically, even with the effects that you could say look dated or whatever. I would watch that movie right now unironically over all that stuff that came out after True Lies. Titanic, the Avatar things. I don't even know what else he does. He just does like Titanic and Avatar. I would watch Terminator 1 over those movies. Those movies, he could have a gazillion dollars to make them. They could have invested $1 billion to make them, and it doesn't mean anything to me because the story isn't there. There's no heart. There's no there's nothing. There aren't characters that you connect to. Terminator 1, you feel a connection with Sarah Connor and Kyle. You're invested in the story and in those characters. These creatures, these blue Navi creatures, Jake and Zoe Saldana and whatever it is. When I was watching this movie, I really thought that if suddenly in the middle of the movie a bomb drops and wipes out like the entire population, all those, like, including the main blue people, and then the credits like roll, I wouldn't even care.
Mm.
There's nothing that connects me to them. I'm not really rooting for them. I don't give a shit. And it's hard to give a shit because if you have 70 million things happening at the same time with 70 million characters, there's only so much you can really invest your feelings in.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, that's Avatar.
That's Avatar. It's the
Um,
Phobos. The best
the
thing
best
about
thing about Titanic was Rick and Morty episode about. I don't remember that episode. I can't remember it.
yeah, they go on a recreation cruise. Like you go on there's like those historical recreation things where you can go and like you can live in a manor house just like one of these British dramas or whatever. You can go and you can recreate what it was like to live there. They do something like that, except it's a recreation of the Titanic, and everybody gets their opportunity to stand on the bow and say, "I'm the king of the world." Like everybody like do all the different scenes and stuff, and then they're guaranteed before when they get on the ship and before it starts to sail that the ship is unsinkable. It's been designed so that it will always sink when it strikes the fake iceberg, and then the machinery dies down and the ship doesn't sink and everyone's disappointed.
I'll have to check it out. I don't really remember it.
I actually just rewatched it not long ago.
Interesting. I don't even recall it, but yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
True Lies was mid and needed more Bill Paxton.
Everything could do with less Tom Arnold.
It was all right, though. I haven't watched True Lies in a while, but I think that was still a movie that I thought was good. I will still say that like Terminator 1,
Yeah.
Terminator 2, and Aliens is probably the top of, his
God,
portfolio. Those are
love
the top movies he's ever made.
Love Aliens, but man, did he do that 4K version of that movie dirty. I can't forgive him for that one until he puts out a real 4K remaster of that film, because what we got was some AI upscaled slop, and it is trash. If you had
I don't know why. Why can't he do anything? I hear always people complaining. I actually didn't see the 4K versions, but I've never heard a person say anything good about them. Anybody that ever mentions it says what you said.
They did way too much digital noise reduction, and they did they didn't clearly. I don't know what the reason was, but they did not go back. I mean, if they did go back to the negatives and then do AI upscaling, I don't know. But yeah, there's some places where like you've got characters in the background, their faces are all messed up. There's way too much, digital noise reduction, so it all looks very smooth yeah, it looks wrong, looks so wrong. I'm glad that I heard about it, saw some frames and stuff from it before I actually bought it myself. Because yeah, I've actually seen the 4K. There's a 4K that's available from the streaming stores, that you can get it digitally. But yeah, I was gonna buy the 4K Blu-ray, and then thankfully, I saw some people talking about it before before I went through with the purchase.
Interesting. Well, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm okay. I'm good. I don't need it.
No.
Keela Levine says the grainy film in Aliens was one of the things that made it so great.
It's so gritty and real, and yeah, I mean, it's excellent. That movie, in a lot of ways, I enjoy that film more than I enjoy the original Alien. Not that the original Alien is a bad film. It's a very good film. It's an incredibly good film. It's more of a horror, more of a thriller. I enjoyed the more, adventure action type of movie, the take from Aliens. They're both great films. Just saying that I kind of enjoyed Aliens better, especially when they did the special edition and opened it back up, put some of the scenes back in that kind of connected things together a little bit more. Yeah. Istavobo says Star Trek the Motion Picture 4K remaster is amazing. Yes, it is. They went back to the original film and negatives and interpositives to scan that film in, and then they went over it with a fine-tooth comb, cleaning up the original film. And yeah, it shows. They did an incredible job with that. There's been a lot of great 4K
What, Star
remasters
Trek
that
the
have been
motion picture?
Yes, yeah, the director's edition that they did in 4K, they did an absolutely incredible job with it.
What did
Yeah,
they do with
but
the effects, though?
most of the effects are untouched, except for new ones that they added. So, um,
But you're saying that it looks good?
it's fantastic. It's one of the best 4K remasters I've seen. Yeah.
How about
The
Wrath of Khan? Did they do one for that?
there's a 4K remaster of that, but it's not a they didn't go back. So with the director's edition that they did of the motion picture, they went back and they did remaster the film, but they went back and they also fixed some scenes. So there was the director's edition of the motion picture came out in 2007 or 2008. It was a DVD release, and when they did that, they did some new special effects, kind of fixed some scenes here and there, and then there were some scenes that didn't exist in the original film that they sort of reproduced and they did the effects for, and they did a really solid job of it. But they did everything in 480p because that's all you could fit on, that's all you would have on DVD. They didn't think about keeping it for later, right? So they just rendered everything in 480p. So when they went to do the 4K remaster of the motion picture of the director's edition, they had to go back and redo all the special effects again. And so this time, I think, if I remember, I think they said they rendered everything in 8K. So at the very least, we're good for a whole nother generation. But I don't see 8K anything being adopted widespread going forward. I really don't. So because 4K is more than enough for 90% of the audience out there. Most people can't even tell the difference between 2K and 4K. So not if it's mastered well. But yeah, there's some really really well done 4K masters out there. And yeah, there's some really poor ones too, unfortunately. What else do
Yeah.
we have to talk about tonight, Price? What else there was
Is there
some
anything in the
Supergirl
gaming?
stuff,
I
and
did have
then
something Supergirl, but
yeah,
is there
gaming
anything?
stuff. I haven't really seen much of anything. I'm trying to remember. There were a couple of stories that I saw earlier this evening, though. Entertainment stuff. Here, I'll share. Here's one. This might lead into our Supergirl conversation. Did you see some of this stuff that was coming out from an interview that James Gunn did with Rolling Stone?
I didn't. What
James
happened?
Gunn says Batman is boring.
But I
And
think
then
that isn't that an old interview from a really long time ago. When is it
is
from?
it?
Yeah, there's been some debate online when that interview is from. Do you know when it's from?
Oh, I don't know. I had not
It
heard.
could be new. I have no idea. I'm just wondering. But I did hear that he was said that. I just think that it was something that they revived, some crap that he said a while back. I could be wrong.
It could be. Let's say, because I couldn't find a link to the Rolling Stone article. Let's see. James Gunn is once again talking about Batman. It's raising eyebrows in a recent interview. Gunn openly suggested.
Yeah, I know that they said it. I'm just wondering. We need to see the
Yeah,
Rolling Stone
I'm looking
one.
to see. So this didn't take me to Rolling Stone. This took me to Screen Rant. The Screen Rant's from July. So I guess maybe this is an older interview. Okay, well, never mind then. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. You're gonna fix Batman. Okay, sure, James Gunn. Yep. Gonna fix Batman. What else? There was something else that I saw too. What was it? Oh, I remember what it was. Did you see the new trailer that came out today for The Sheep Detectives? Oh, Price, step away for a second. Okay. Well, maybe we'll share this. Hopefully, we don't get dinged here. So this it's just a new trailer that dropped earlier today for an Amazon MGM Studios project called The Sheep Detectives. Apparently, this is based on a book or maybe a series of books. I don't know.
If there's one secret to
Oh.
happiness in my life, it's taking care of the kindest creatures on earth. Sheep. I want you to meet my flock.
When I wake up,
Oh,
I know I'm
don't
gonna
the music
be
to get
I keep them well
Price
fed,
dinged.
well groomed, and each day. Mysteries, whodunits. I know who the killer was. I like to pretend that they follow along, but they're only sheep.
Oh, why would he stop there?
He was just about to say who the killer was.
This is torture. It was the maid, right?
when I wake up,
Wake up! Everybody wake up!
We found George on the grass, and he's not moving.
What?
Lily, tell us what to do.
Our shepherd was murdered, and we shall solve the crime. George was visited by someone he knew well enough to offer a drink.
Not much of a story for you, I'm afraid.
Unless there's anything out the ordinary.
The policeman is completely hopeless. Oh, we need to help him.
You think you're brave enough to leave home?
We're not scared.
What is that?
I think it's a road.
But what is it made of?
Well, not grass, I can tell you that. Are you coming?
For George?
For George. Officer Derry, I am George Hardy's lawyer. He wrote a will. In the nighttime stories, the people in the will are always the suspects.
That man had nothing.
Well, actually, there is $30 million. And we have our motive. We need to look for clues.
Stand back.
I am after.
I mean, it looks weird, but I don't hate it.
You killed George.
Yeah,
What
exactly. Like
What
this
if I
looks
can't
like
solve it?
I've read you dozens of these stories.
this
They follow
looks like the
very
right
simple
kind of
rules.
sort of quirky and ridiculous that it could be worthwhile.
Every time.
And it's got a million people in it
That's my hat.
doing voices.
Thank you all.
She can do
I would watch it. What do I?
We
This
can
would be the
do
worst thing ever. I somehow would watch it.
I want to bash it. I want to bash it so bad.
What's with them?
Guys, I may be inside a clue. Ow!
It looks absurd, but in sort of a fun way. I would like to have a fun movie, Price.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying, what's the target audience? I don't know, but you know what? This looks weird enough for me to watch it. I would watch it in hopes that it's not terrible.
Yeah.
In hopes that maybe it'll be amusing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hoping it's like quirky and amusing.
It doesn't have to be like the best film we've seen in years. If it's a fun movie, kind of silly, ridiculous, something we can go out and have a little escape to watch this next year. Who knows, right?
Vidiot says, that was actually funny, silly. I'd take my grandkid to see it.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's coming out on Mother's Day, so clearly they know who their target audience is.
I
They're
might
looking
see this.
for moms and kids.
People are saying it looks Taika Waititi. But listen, Taika Waititi, the problem with him is he tried to shove it into like a Thor movie where Thor is like an idiot. And this is the type of movie that I have no expectations. Nobody cares. You understand that you're signing up for something ridiculous and silly. Sometimes if it's done in a fun way, you can have fun with it. So I understand the tone. I understand what this is. I would give it a chance. If it's terrible, I would tell you. But I'm hoping that whoever sat and thought of this idea may have an interesting way to execute it.
Yeah. So this is coming from Amazon MGM. It's the director is Kyle Balda, who's previously made Minions: The Rise of Gru. This is his live action debut. It's a script from Craig Mazin based on author Leonie Swan's 2005 novel Three Bags Full. So yeah, it's got a bunch of different actors in it. Hugh Jackman obviously is well the I'd say he's the lead, but he's the victim, right? In this. But we have a few other Nicholas Braun, Nicholas Galtzine that are going to be in here. So yeah, I mean it sounds let's see, who else do we have? Performers voicing the Flock Sheep are Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Bryan Cranston, Chris O'Dowd, Regina Hall, Patrick Stewart, Bella Ramsey. What? Brett Goldstein and Reese. I definitely heard Reese Darby in there. Yeah. So I don't know. Looks kind of fun. It looks harmless, right? It looks.
I
like
don't
it
mind it. It didn't upset me.
Yeah.
It didn't I've seen much worse things that annoyed me. This didn't
Oh,
annoy me. It looked
without a
kind
question.
of silly and fluffy and fun, and I would give it a chance. I would be happy if there's fun to be had somewhere. It would be nice to have some fun.
There you
I
go.
really wanted Fackham Hall to be that kind of fun, but I felt like Fackham Hall was just okay. It kind of reminded me of the issues with the remake of The Naked Gun, that it was fine, but it wasn't great. And that's how I felt about Fackham Hall, unfortunately. By the way, did you happen to watch Fallout, Professor?
I haven't gotten to see it yet. No.
It's okay. I didn't even finish this first episode.
Yeah, it was on my list for today. It was something it wasn't able to fit in. Just before we got started, I did watch the this week's episode of Pluribus.
Oh, I'm not caught
yeah.
up, but I'll
Yeah.
say this. I'll give you my, just without spoiling, thoughts of Fallout. Sometimes these shows, you wait so long between season to season. I had to take a minute to even try to remember what happened in the previous one. And once this one started, at least this first episode, or I watched most of it, I didn't get to finish it, but it felt kind of, lackluster. In terms of, I was telling this to Robot Head earlier. I was telling him that the first season, they didn't think much of it and they dumped all the episode at once. Sometimes that's an advantage, because seeing like an episode that's maybe a bit slow, but then you watch another episode, and gradually maybe the pace picks up, at least there's a reason to continue watching it. When you have like this kind of slow burn episode and then you have to wait a whole week until you see the next episode, it kind of, it interferes with your enjoyment. And I feel the same way about Pluribus. I didn't see the last episode, but I kind of feel the same way about that one, is that sometimes I don't want to wait a week if it's such a slow show. And also, I don't want to wait 7 years between season to season. But how did you feel about the latest Pluribus?
It's I thought this one was a lot more interesting. It kind of tells you a lot more where they're trying to go with the show from here. This is not so we got 2 episodes left after this one. This most recent episode was called Charm Offensive. We know from the end of the previous episode that she has said she wants everyone to come back. She didn't want to be alone anymore. But that is not a pure motive. She is continuing to learn more about them, and she is still wants to find a way to turn things around. So and she makes that very clear at one point. But they're what Mr. Brown has been looking for is in this latest episode. Well, at least it's implied anyway. That's
What has he been looking for?
fucking scissoring.
All right. Interesting. Well, I'll have to watch that. But yeah, what was I going to say?
I don't know. Again, I'm still in. I still want to know where they're going to go with it through the end of this season. Not sure how much I'm going to care after that. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope they have some kind of plan that just doesn't.
Because I do love Vince Gilligan. I think he's a fantastic creator. He's made some incredible
I like him
television.
as well. Yes.
He's a great writer. This show has not lacked for good writing. It's just it's been awfully slow. And I think you're right. I kind of feel like perhaps maybe Pluribus would have been better if we could have just consumed it all at once. You know?
Oh, okay. So by the way, Six found that interview, and it really was the James Gunn was from June.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
so it really wasn't something new, and that's
It's
the
not
problem.
new
I don't care
news.
what he
Yeah.
said. He didn't say. I mean, he said it half a year ago. It's not really. He said it before Superman came out. Things were very different. Things were very different for him back then. He was boasting his DCU and his new Batman and all this stuff. None of that ended up happening.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as I know, I don't think he has any bearing on Batman anymore. That's why I was confused to see him talking about it. But yeah, if that was an old article, then that's what that is. Yeah. They dredge that kind of stuff back up. It happens.
Yeah, I can understand it. I mean, it's fun just pulling out stuff and like regurgitating. I recently wanted to regurgitate something, you know. Uh, I was gonna do a video. The problem is another video, something else happened, and I had to address that. But I was gonna do a video on Lanterns, that they're saying that show, heard some negative rumors about it. I don't know. I guess reshooting part of it. I don't know if they'll fix it or not fix it. The rumor, and I don't know if this rumor is true, is that James Gunn wanted the villain in Lanterns to be right wing people.
Yes.
Now the thing is like, I normally would just say it's just some weirdo thought this, but because of what we've seen, I kind of believe that I could totally see it. Even if there was no leak, I would totally believe it. So I guess what I'm saying is, once we were talking about Lanterns, I was going to dig up that interview that I did with Mark Guggenheim, where he talked about his Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds. And I finally would have had a good place to place it within a video that I'm doing a report. But then the Supergirl test screening rumors start.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
did a video about that. The thing is that I don't always engage in these type of rumors, but that Daniel Richtman guy is very much this kind of industry connected shill insider type of guy. I don't really trust what he says usually in terms of I always feel like there's an ulterior motive there, but a lot of times he knows stuff. So he basically said that test screening for Supergirl was a disaster. No, sorry, not a disaster. It was great. It was the best thing that
Yeah, it
ever
was
happened.
really good. Really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry,
He
not a
said,
disaster. I'm tired. It was the best thing that ever happened. But then another guy who also, like, from time to time has some kind of insider information said that that's not what he heard. That he heard that the movie was underwhelming, that it wasn't he wouldn't have gone as far saying that it's a bad movie, but it's not like great either, that the villain was very underwhelming. And he that he's a semi shill said, well, like, Millie Alcock is good in the role, this and that and this and that. But it wasn't, to say it wasn't a glowing endorsement was an understatement. Maybe he was careful not to say that it's complete shit, but almost between the lines you could feel that he was not describing it in a very positive light. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. James Gunn, when he took over DC, said, I'm never going to do reshoots. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to shoot without a script. I'm never doing this. I'm never doing that. And all the stuff that he said he wasn't going to do, he does it one by one. And
Yep.
Supergirl, I think, had to go through reshoots. And I don't know if now it'll have to go through more reshoots. Lanterns, also, there's issues with it. Every 5
We're pretty
minutes will come.
certain that there were reshoots on Superman.
There were reshoots on Superman. And I will still say that I wonder what happened. There's one thing in Superman that doesn't make sense to me. Remember the thing where Bradley Cooper has the message with Superman and the harem and the ladies?
Yeah.
There was something that if you like, and it existed in the theatrical release because I actually did some research on it. If you zoomed in really close on one screen, towards the end of the movie, it basically says that the whole recording of Superman's parents saying all of that was a hoax. that Lex Luthor
Yeah,
put
yeah.
together. But the only thing is, in the movie, they go out of their way before and after that to explain that it wasn't a hoax. But then why is it written that it was a hoax kind of in the background on the screen? And then the only thing I could think of is that perhaps there was a version in which they announced that it's a hoax, but James Gunn somehow insisted that that's not the version that gets released. Maybe they shot an additional scene that would suggest that, but then also, once you do that and you have that there, it changes the whole fabric of the movie. Because that's the problem when you do this kind of thing when you're shooting without a script or you do all these reshoots is you change one thing, it's kind of like a pyramid or a house of cards. I don't know how to explain it, but you change one thing and then all the other stuff doesn't fall into place. So maybe they had intended to do that at the end. They didn't, though. Because nobody has an explanation why there would
Yeah.
be a title like that unless there was at least a version of this movie where they actually added that and said it was a hoax.
Well, it makes absolutely no sense at the end of the film that everyone just says, "Oh, well, Superman good. Superman good with me. No problem." Like, they're saying, all of these experts say that this video that we got of his parents from his, home planet said, "Go out, spread your seed, have a harem, control this planet, whatever." They're telling us repeatedly that this is true. And how do we know it's true? How do we know it wasn't manipulated? Well, you know, Mr. Terrific's telling us, well, I know these guys, they know their stuff. If they say it's real, it's real. So they were told over and over and over again that it's real. So and then after the fact, James Gunn is saying it's real. So why does everyone suddenly trust Superman again? That doesn't make sense at all. Because the reason they stopped trusting him was because of this video. And nothing about that has changed. Yeah, he went and fought Lex Luthor, whatever. Lex Luthor was the one that got the video out there, but if the video is real, well, it makes no sense for everyone to suddenly start trusting him.
There was some kind of reshoot shenanigans there, and I don't fully understand it. I thought to myself that maybe the studio forced him to add a scene that would suggest that Superman, that the recording was fake. Why at the end he convinced them that they don't need that scene, even though it suggested that there was a scene like that in there, because we still see the title that claims that on the TV in the background. Then I assume I can only assume that what happened is that by putting that in there, it ruins basically the entire arc that James Gunn created for Superman. Now, I don't like the arc, but the idea that he sort of like accepts the fact that his parents were like that, and he goes and everything that they're trying to do at the end there, where he's like, I didn't need to rely on them, I needed to rely on myself, and all this other shit. I bet James Gunn thought this was all great. And once you put in that additional scene, you don't have that weight of, oh, well, like, I'm not my parents. They're whatever they are, and I'm whoever I am. I mean, this is, again, this is my personal opinion. I think that James Gunn had a woke messaging thing here, which nobody believes, but I do think he did. Basically, in his eyes, Superman is an immigrant, and his parents have these kind of old, very old school type of, philosophies. I say old, like old culture, places that are not modern, like whatever we are. Uh, his parents are bad, but he's good. And the whole idea is, even though his parents were immigrants and they brought their own culture, which was bad, or they believed in their own culture, which was like frowned upon, he was able to disconnect from that. And as an immigrant in the US, he was able to rise above that and be his own man. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what James Gunn was going for. I think that at the end, some executive looked at it, or test screenings or whatever, and they told him, listen, this is not good. Can you change something? And maybe he tried. Maybe he tried to record a scene. But once you put that in there, it discredits, even though I don't like what he's doing, it discredits everything he's trying to do in the movie. So probably at the end, maybe he has final cut. Maybe he said, my agreement says that I can do whatever I want, and I'm not, including that scene in here. That's all I can think of because there's something super fishy
Yeah.
about the ending of that movie.
Yeah. There's a lot about that movie that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I don't like
It's the Phobos, yeah. Son, go out and score paper and bitches. It's
exactly.
Yeah, spread your seed. Yeah. I mean, it's basically it's the plot right out of Invincible. Right?
And
Yeah.
there was something else that I also reported on in my video that Netflix once Warner Brothers accepted their bid. Let me see if I can share this. I know you're going to laugh at me, but I do think this is odd. Okay? Do you see this do you see this screen?
Yeah.
So basically, I did it a little smaller. I mean, it's supposed to be bigger, but the reason I did it smaller is they put together this website that they're basically saying how great the partnership is going to be between the both of them. It's more of a press kind of thing. And you see like Harry Potter and Stranger Things, okay? Showing like together they're going to be something big.
Yes.
Netflix and Warner Brothers. So then, if you look in the background, there's thumbnails that somebody, likely, from this Netflix Warner Brothers team that did this, they basically have a series of thumbnails in the background. Now, half the thumbnails are stuff that belongs to Netflix, and half the thumbnails are properties that belong to Warner Brothers. Are you with me?
Yep.
Now, if you look at this is very interesting. Keep in mind that something like this wasn't something that AI did. This is something that somebody sat and did for them. Now, and not only that, this is strategic. They chose exactly the type of thumbnails they want here, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? This is not something that
Absolutely. No, this wasn't just slapped together. This wasn't just random. They
Okay.
chose these.
Now,
Yeah.
what do I see here? On the bottom, I see The Batman from Matt Reeves. I see then right above this Netflix thing, there's Zack Snyder's version of the Justice League. Underneath, there's like the Joss Whedon version, but still, it's the DCEU, theoretically, because it's the cast of Zack Snyder's thing. Notice what's missing here. You don't see Superman from James Gunn. You don't see Peacemaker or Creature Commando. Those things are not, when they sat and they said, let's show what we got, let's show our catalog, they didn't choose that. And this is just my humble opinion. The fact that James Gunn was omitted from this, that DC is a big brand, and you don't see anything James Gunn here, kind of odd. Are you with me, Professor?
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Like, this isn't, like I said, they didn't haphazardly put this together. Somebody said, let's make a list of exactly what we want to see here. You have, like, Friends, Harry Potter, Bridgerton, Stranger Things, Casablanca, K-pop, whatever the fuck that thing is. You know what I'm trying to say. Wednesday. These are things that are very much Squid Game. These are things that, like, are big brand names that they want to show. And the fact that, like, I can't find James Gunn here is just strange.
Yeah. Agreed.
But Matt Reeves is here. The other
Matt
thing
Reeves?
is that Ted
Yeah.
Sarandos, the Netflix guy, about a week ago, they interviewed him. They said, "Oh, like you're doing this thing merger," because he keeps on saying business as usual. We've merged with Warner Brothers, and they just like talked to him about the merger, and he's like, "Listen, DC is a really big brand. I really love what they're doing there." And the next sentence he said was, Matt Reeves did a great job with Penguin," and that's it. Doesn't mention James Gunn.
Nope. Not one mention of Gunn.
And the thing is that prior to the deal closing, like Warner Brothers, they extended Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi, that are top executives there that are making money for them, extended their contract by years. James Gunn, what did they do? They gave him a few months extension. From the end of like 2025, they gave him until spring 2026, basically to wrap up what he's working on. Also, another thing that happened is that Netflix aren't going to take control of Warner Brothers for another 18 months minimum. So it is understood, from what I understand, is that Netflix asked Warner Brothers to not do any kind of big shakeups with executives until they arrive. So if, let's say, there's somebody like a Gun that's supposed to be out at the end of 2026 and Netflix is going to be there only like, 4 or 5 months later, they prefer that until that moment, all these kind of executives stay in their place until they come along and decide what they want to do. So that's why James Gunn got the default extension, if you understand what I'm saying. He didn't get the big time extension where Netflix is like, we love James Gunn. Make sure he has a contract now for 3 more years. And everybody's like, gets upset, like the people that get upset. No, Superman was the biggest hit ever for Warner Bros. If it was, then why didn't they renew his contract? If you had a guy that was so great and made you the best Superman ever, and you're so happy with the results and the biggest windfall ever, and you're so happy, why don't you renew his contract?
Sure.
It's very simple, you know what I mean? And I say this all the time. I'm a reporter of news. I've said millions of times what my issues were with the Snyder movies, but none of that is relevant to the conversation here. They put the Snyder icons here. They didn't put James Gunn in here. They put Matt Reeves in here. They didn't put James Gunn. And I will continue to say the same thing. The Supergirl movie is, if that doesn't do amazing numbers, I think that this will be a real problem for Gunn.
Yep. Istvos said in the YouTube chat, said a 1-year extension is the amicable way of firing someone.
They didn't even give him 1 year. They didn't even give him 1 year.
Yeah, that's possible. Or also, it's the way of telling somebody you're on notice, right? Like if you don't make something happen, you're done. Like this is, you're not getting another chance at this. So
Six is saying, I can't decide if this is Price being a tinfoil hat or I'm a bit too dumb to see the significance. I'll tell you this. This is the minimum that I can say about myself, that I've worked with PR companies and I've worked in entertainment. Again, I want to clarify. It's not that David Zaslav, when he makes a decision, calls me. I'm not like, in that league, but I do have some experience, like experience that's not nothing. And this kind of thing where this carefully crafted PR statement and whole artwork is put together, somebody is sitting there and putting it together. They decided on a list of exactly what would appear. The person that designed it probably got a list of titles that Netflix and Warner Brothers decided that they want to present to the press, of the type of titles you can expect to see in their joint venture. Now, DC being such a big thing in this whole Warner Brothers package or company or whatever you want to call it, and that they wouldn't show anything from James Gunn, who's the co-CEO and like the big guy that's like supposedly relaunched this whole cinematic universe, that they don't want to include even one thumbnail from anything that he did. Super odd. That they include Matt Reeves and Zack Snyder, but they don't include James Gunn. In my humble opinion, it's not a good sign. Now, does it mean 100% maybe somebody wasn't thinking? Maybe it was just like, not enough thought was put into it? I guess anything's possible. But with a company that has like, Netflix has like hundreds of billions of dollars, it seems rather odd that there would be no oversight. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I don't think so. I mean, I understand that there's people that are just so excited to keep saying that James Gunn is like the biggest success. I don't think he's the biggest success. The Superman movie that people know it this and that, it made money. It didn't make money in its theatrical release, which is what companies expect. And I am 100% sure that Warner Brothers wanted this to be a $800 million to $1 billion movie. It didn't deliver that. The 615 worldwide, it was almost breaking even. It didn't break even. People say with streaming it broke even. Maybe it did, but any other movie that you've seen, even Man of Steel, which you could like or not like, I don't really care, it had a lot of DVD sales. It had a lot of sponsorships too. And, The idea is, what kind of money do you make at the box office? And years ago, and before any kind of inflation, regardless of inflation, the Man of Steel movie made more than James Gunn. And after the Man of Steel movie made more than James Gunn without adjusting for inflation, it was decided that that movie was generally disappointing in its box office. So if that was disappointing, then James Gunn, the only way to look at it is that it's more disappointing, at least in my opinion.
Yep.
So,
And it was fairly disappointing on its release digital as well.
James Gunn and Superman was the stars of 2025. I don't understand what that means. Were the stars of 2025?
Was that the biggest movie of 2025? The one with the biggest cultural impact? I mean,
I don't
know.
think so.
I don't know. I mean, it definitely got talked about a lot, but not all of it was
Not all
positive.
good. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
so. I don't think there's a lot of shenanigans going on. I've said from day one, and I'm really, if there's anything I'm proud of, it's a lot of my coverage on it, because I think that a lot of the things that I reported were good. I said from day one that a lot of money was being pumped into PR and spins to make this seem like a success. I even said in an early video that I think it's to keep the stock price high. I wasn't sure when and where this thing would sell and how quickly. I didn't think that so quickly Paramount would be making bids, but I did tell myself that David Zaslav does not want this thing to look bad for him, and he went through a lot of hoops to make it seem like Superman is a success, but so many things happened behind the scenes that suggested otherwise.
Yeah.
Including also the way they rushed it to streaming, and then they kept dropping the prices on pay-per-view. A lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff happening that didn't look characteristic of a movie that's a slam dunk win.
Yeah. And Six said sarcasm in the chat. So
Okay.
she was being facetious in her statement, I believe.
Six says Superman was the biggest box office disappointment for me. Listen, and the thing is, I just want to say, I don't care if somebody likes the movie or not. And I've also said before, I am not like, some Snyder loyalist or something like that. I've said the same thing, and I've been fairly consistent. I have issues with Snyder's movies. I still felt that they took themselves more seriously than Gunn's movie, and overall, under the right circumstances, like I said, where Zack Snyder wouldn't write the screenplay and perhaps have a producer that keeps him on a tight leash and give him a good screenplay, I would prefer seeing like Henry Cavill and whatever was going on in those movies a lot more than the atmosphere of what James Gunn has. Both Gunn and Snyder are probably not my ideal Superman thing. Like Richard Donner for me, that is the GOAT. Like with Christopher Reeve, that is the GOAT.
Yep.
That is still a movie that gets everything right. I understand that maybe the effects are dated and all that stuff. That's a movie with heart that understands every beat what it needs to do. You could claim today, like I said, it's not a modern movie, but I still enjoy it, and there's a lot to enjoy in it even until this day. And I don't think that Snyder or Gunn fully had the vision and understanding that Richard Donner had at all. But at the same time, it doesn't matter my sentiments. The bottom line is that I think that James Gunn failed. I don't know if to say failed more than Snyder. I don't know how to explain it. But at the end of the day, that's what I think. I think that
Yeah.
he failed. It doesn't even matter if you like Snyder or Gunn or whatever it is. I think that Gunn failed bigger than Snyder. Snyder did things and people said that he was a failure and had issues. But if all of those things were issues, I think that in many ways, even on a business level mainly, James Gunn, I think, failed bigger, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum, but yeah, I think that's, where Snyder did get some things right, went a little bit more serious with the tone. There's a lot of stuff in those movies that doesn't work, especially in Man of Steel. With Gunn's film, I don't feel like he got the central characters right, and they spent way too much time making it an ensemble piece with all these other heroes in it, all these other characters, instead of just making it a Superman focused film. and Superman frequently doesn't feel like Superman. I don't like the take on Lex Luthor in the film at all. So yeah,
I'll tell you what I think. I think that in the case of Snyder and even on Man of Steel, it feels like you wanted to bake a cake and you got all the right ingredients. You got even like really, really good ingredients. They're all there on the counter, and you just have to bake that cake. But then somehow in the process where you were baking the cake, something went wrong. Do you get what I mean? Like certain things were made that, like, I don't know, the decisions were made while you were making that cake that weren't exactly as they should be. But I can at least appreciate that the ingredients were the right ingredients and that there was a foundation there that with the right creative decision surrounding it could have been better. And I will always say this and say it again. I have a lot of issues when I look at something like Rebel Moon and I see like Zack Snyder, what it looks like when he writes something. Uh, I'd certainly have issues with that. Man of Steel is a screenplay that Zack Snyder did not write. So in that specific instance, I think that actually, as much as I like him and I respect him, I think Christopher Nolan is more responsible for things in Man of Steel that may be more problematic because Zack Snyder
yeah,
didn't write that movie.
yeah.
I don't know if another director would have stepped in and said, "Wait a minute, let's change this. Let's not do this." I don't know. I mean, when you're talking to Christopher Nolan, it's not really a guy you can boss around either. And as much as I like Christopher Nolan, I can't, just absolve him from any responsibility. Do you get what I mean?
Yep.
So the issues of Man of Steel are there. They're not fully on Snyder in that case. And I'll say the same thing I say. Give him a good screenplay. Give him a producer that keeps him in his place in a way, and maybe there's something decent that can happen. Who can write good screenplays these days? I don't know. I almost feel like Hollywood just doesn't have any good screenwriters anymore.
No, they don't.
But
Or
yeah,
if
but
they do, they're few and far between. And I think that a lot of the good screenwriters have probably been uh, shoved into the margins, right, and replaced with a lot of activists. So yeah,
And if let's say the Snyder one had a feeling that the ingredients were there, but something went wrong when they were making the cake, in James Gunn's version, I feel like even the ingredients aren't set up. Like even the basic ingredients aren't there. And that's my takeaway from the two movies. I understand, some people say, "Oh, I still like Guns better. I don't like this. I don't like that." And I'm not married to any of those movies. Like I'm not, I don't get offended one way or another. The whole thing with me, people think that when they see my channel or whatever, they're like, "Oh, you must be like a Snyder bro or whatever." What most people don't know, I really just saw the Superman James Gunn movie. I didn't like it. I came back and did a review on it. People watched it and I didn't think much of anything. I wasn't trying to bash James Gunn. I wasn't doing anything. I just said what I thought, and I said that I didn't enjoy the movie, and I explained why. And then, as the newspaper, like the media and all the mainstream media, and even the shills, were all saying that it's the biggest success ever after it opened. I looked at the models like you and I sometimes do, Professor, where we try to look at how much money is a movie realistically going to make. So I looked at all the numbers, and I thought to myself, whatever we're being sold by the media is nonsense. I don't believe one word of it. And I just did a video explaining what my issues were and why I didn't believe the media and why, in my opinion, this movie would be lucky if it's going to make. I think at the time I said that it's going to make something between 600 to 625 million or something like that, and it ended up making 615 million. It wasn't people think, "Oh, you did it because you hate Gunn." I didn't do it because I hate Gunn. I just said it. And then what happened is that first of all, people that like Gunn got really upset and would come to my videos and complain all the time. At the same time, uh, you know, I had people reach out to me that said that they'd really love to hear more coverage on this topic. Are you with me, Professor? Are you still there?
yeah, yep,
So I guess what I'm saying is, and I've explained it to a few people, I didn't intend beyond those first few videos, I actually didn't intend to report anything else. But then when I didn't report, there's people that reached out, whether it's on Twitter, sometimes go to these videos on YouTube and said, "Hey, can you do another update?" And I'm not like, when it comes to the following that I have, I'm not the critical drinker. If there's a significant group of people, and some even reaching out personally, finding me on Twitter, personally reaching out and asking if I could do more coverage of this, at the end of the day, you want to also listen to the people that watch your channel. If there's people
Sure.
watching and there's something that interests them, well, then that's of interest to me. Then I want to present it as best as I can. And yeah, sometimes it's hard to be on YouTube and not to do thumbnails that are sometimes sensational. But I think that if you click on my videos and ever watch any of them, I'm fairly reasonable in the way that I cover things. I don't just say what everybody wants to hear. I really look at the different things and give the best analysis that I can. Until now, a lot of it has been right. Not saying not saying that I'm always going to be right about everything. Sure, there's stuff that I also don't get right, but some of it was right at least. Just throwing that out there. I don't think anybody cares. I don't know
Sure.
why I just went on this whole rant. What did you want to talk about, Professor?
No, I was gonna say we do have super chats, or at least one here.
Let me look. I'm going to find it right now. It's from E. Clay Thomason. Let's pull that up. Okay, E. Clay Thomason, 199. Thank you for the super chat. Also, Drew Gordon, member for 1 month. Thank you, Drew Gordon. Also cool. Very, very
Yep.
cool. What did you think of the Young Sherlock trailer? Remind me, did I see the Young Sherlock trailer?
That was a new one. It's a new Guy Ritchie series that he's doing with Amazon.
I
Have
saw
you seen
something,
this?
but it was like
earlier
almost like
came out
if-
earlier today. Yeah.
There's another thing that just happened. I think somebody gave gifted memberships. So
Yes, Karate Werewolf.
Karate
sent
Werewolf. Let me.
5 Price of Reason Live gift memberships. Thank you.
I am going to share that right now. I want to update. Okay, share this tab. So yes, Karate Werewolf, thank you so much for sending 5 Price of Reason Live gift memberships. Genuinely appreciate that. I've also enjoyed seeing you here, especially lately. I'd see you more. It's always great. 6 says I'm still debating between poop and pie. I understand. There's something that somebody said here. Lasher5520 says, calling a person a Snyder bro is just an easy way to put down somebody that likes a movie that others don't. It's stupid. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that
It's
what I didn't
labeling.
like,
Yeah.
what I didn't like is that people just seeing my video and the fact that they like Gun or like Superman and they want me to say that it's a box office hit, but I just explain why the media is being dishonest and it's not a box office hit. It doesn't necessarily mean that and I'd say even if in a number of my videos, I said, listen, I'm kind of neutral when it comes to Snyder. There's things that I like, things that I didn't like. And I do have some issues with his movies, but this has nothing to do with it. It doesn't really matter what I think one way or another. I'm just looking at the box office. Especially a lot of those early reports, I would just look at the box office and explain, and people were just delusional. I don't remember since these kind of like what other kind of like with Lucasfilm that they used to try to spin in Disney that something is successful when it's a failure. I haven't seen that kind of behavior in a really long time, where it's like they'll do anything in the world to make it seem like that thing was a big hit. It wasn't. It wasn't. I honestly think that the second that Superman didn't make between 800 to $1 billion, it was not what they expected.
Yeah.
You can try to tell me
and
whatever
and-
story you want.
Yeah. Gunn can come out and say, "Oh, we never expected it to make that much money. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that recently also like Forbes, Gunn doesn't help anything either. Gunn doesn't carry himself like this kind of like thoughtful executive. As much as like Kevin Feige, even Kathleen Kennedy, all those people, I don't have anything good to say about them. But the one thing I'll say that at least they're smart to do is You don't see Kathleen Kennedy herself going and sitting on threads and on Twitter and answering and blabbing to the newspaper and calling shills every second. All this stuff is happening. One of her strongest thing that she does is that you never hear from her. It's just like you want to make fun of her and attack her, but it's so rare that she even gives an interview or even says anything. Kevin Feige himself also. Once in a while he'll interview or whatever, but he doesn't sit around and blab all day. He doesn't sit around on social media all day. Gunn, like a 5-year-old kid, like all the time he's on those things, like blabbing and trying to do damage control and all this other stuff. So he doesn't help himself. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Going on podcasts and openly stating that he only goes on podcasts that kiss his ass.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Really? Wow.
And the final thing is, if everything is hunky dory, then you don't need any of that. I mean, and people are like, well, today you can't even do something that everybody will be happy about. You know what? I don't know if you could do something that everybody will be happy with, but you could do something that a lot of people can be happy with. You know, Tom Cruise, when Top Gun Maverick came out, most people were happy with that movie. Maybe some people didn't like it. Most people felt good about it. Deadpool and Wolverine, it wasn't a spectacular movie, but most people went there, at least had a mildly enjoyable time. You know, there is a way of winning an audience. Spider-Man, No Way Home. Most people that watch it at least had some enjoyment from it. You can make a movie and it could be something that's sort of a crowd pleaser. I feel like, if you have to keep running around and defending your movie and saying all this shit and writing and sitting on threads and babbling about crap, then maybe you did something wrong. Maybe it's not the slam dunk that you're saying it is. Just my personal opinion.
Did you want to check out the Young Sherlock trailer? I did.
Yeah, if you have it, I'll play it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll call
also
it
gaming if you want to talk about. I feel like
I don't really have anything to cover for gaming. Honestly, I looked a bit, but I didn't really see anything.
I mean, I'll tell you this. Usually Guy Ritchie, when he does something, there's something fun and playful and entertaining about it. I hope that he'll bring his trademark fun and playful things, whatever he does, to this show. I am 100% going to give it a chance just because it's Guy Ritchie, and I don't consider him a bum. So I'm going to watch whatever it is that he has. If it's not good, I'll just tell you I don't really like it. But
give it a shot. I'll give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot. Guy Ritchie doing this series, enough for me to at least give it a shot. He's earned it. He's done enough things that I've liked to date that I can say, oh, he's making a show. Well, I'll give it a shot. There aren't many people that have done that, but he has done it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Phantom Outsider says Deadpool and Wolverine did what the title advertised. It gave the fans Deadpool and Wolverine. If nothing else, yes. It's not the best movie ever, but I will say that even though it's like out of the 3 Deadpool movies, it is the most inferior one, I still sat down in the theater and felt, at least to an extent, entertained. I didn't suffer watching it. I thought it was an entertaining movie, not one that I wanted to see 70 times afterwards, but as a cinematic experience that had fun in it, I felt that it was able to do it.
Yep. We did get we got a super sticker.
Oh, is it poop from 6?
It is not a poop.
Oh, it's a pie. Okay.
That lovely slice of pie.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay.
Oh, and we got another one from Miss Phillips.
Oh, wait a second. Well, thank you, everybody. It's very nice of you. Let me update it then. Okay. I'm trying to share it. 1 second.
Oh, they are showing up in the chat now, Price.
Who are showing up?
The super chats.
Yeah, I understand, but I can't highlight it.
It won't let you highlight it. Oh, okay.
No, it's very strange.
Yeah, because they are showing up now. They're showing up with the amount and
Oh, yeah, and it says what it is.
yeah.
1 second. I feel like I messed up here, but
Okay.
I'm gonna fix it right now, Professor. Let's see if this is the right one. Yes, okay.
It's
And now, here we go. So, we already thanked Karate Werewolf for his 5 live gift memberships, and also we answered E. Clay Thomason about Young Sherlock trailer.
Mhm.
And 6 sent a cherry pie, I guess. 149
Yes.
super sticker. And Istophobos, who's a member and friend of the channel, of course, 99 cents poop sticker.
Yes. And he says that the pie, or 6 said the pie turns into poo. Well, everything comes out the same in the end. That's what he said.
I suppose. Yes, I never thought of it that way, but you are correct, Professor. Well, I think that we kind of went over all of our topics today. Is there
Yeah.
anything you
Like I said, I
wanted to...
don't really have anything game wise to talk about. Like ever since the Game Awards, like really hasn't been a whole lot on that particular front. They're just about everything that's going to come out this year has come out, and now we're just waiting to see how some of the industry issues shake out over the next few months. So, yes, we'll see.
Absolutely.
Got you our list from
Oh, our list.
Rumble.
Okay, so on Rumble we have Timothy Tincliffe, Double R Star, Citizen 42, Sal the Hamster, Whammer, I think it says Whammer, Vidiot, Some Late Guy Long Island 90, Dude Bro Seth 420, Stolen Hellcat, and Pyromancer. I also believe I saw Elizabeth Quince there.
Oh, did I not have Elizabeth Quince in the list? Oh,
I don't
no.
think so, and I 100% saw her.
Yeah, Elizabeth Quince. I am so sorry. Somehow I missed you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Keep trying to put in the list together, but yeah. And we also remember we got the $10 super chat from some guy.
Oh yes, of course.
Some late guy.
Some late guy. Very nice of you. Also, the Dead Man, and also
the
Dead Man with his super chats, and Karate Werewolf, and Six, and Istophobos, and E. Clay Thomason. So thank you to all of you.
Yeah. So over on YouTube, we were joined tonight by Dead Man, Karate Werewolf, Six, Istophobos, Adam Gray, Badfoot, and Caleb Levine, Tomahawk 511, E. Clay Thomason, Lasher Argentum, Tony Grigio, Matt Cat popped in here for a little bit, Phantom Outsider, Zune RJ5, Jason Webster, Yitis, Jonathan Conroy, Drew Gordon, Ms. Sparkles, Michael Drury, 1967, Toji, Jim Noxious, Destiny, Captain 247, Mark S47, and Palm 5966. So yeah, thanks to everybody for joining us this evening.
Thank you. And today is Thursday, so we'll see you all here again on Tuesday. And Tuesday and Thursday, the Night Owl at 11:45 p.m. Eastern. Professor, is there something you want to plug before we go?
Well, if anyone's interested in having a little fun riffing on live riffing on a goofy, ridiculous Christmas film, we're going to be watching something tomorrow on B-Sides. So over on B-Roll Stage, both YouTube and Rumble will be there, hanging out tomorrow night. Watching. Oh gosh, what was the name of that? I looked at it earlier this evening and I already forgot. It's called The Snow Creature. Whatever that means. But we'll be watching that tomorrow and doing a little bit of a Christmassy winter celebration in B-sides tomorrow night. And then I'll be back on Tuesday, but then I'm going to be off until after the new year. So yeah, looking forward to seeing everybody back here on Tuesday for the night out.
But this upcoming Tuesday, you'll still be here, right?
I'll still be here Tuesday.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. So we'll see you all Tuesday, and check out the stream Professor was talking about. And I guess if there's nothing more, maybe it's a good time for us to sign off, Professor.
I think that'll do it for tonight, Price. Take care, everyone.
Bye.